guy. Yeah, it's you know, I mean, it's not warm out, but it's warmer than I guess I thought it would be. I guess that's a good thing. I guess that's a good thing. I'll take it. PG's not reliable. That's okay. I don't know why I'm here. This is not a place for me. I just gonna do piano videos. Just play music. I think. You know, that's what I think. I think I just need to play piano. It is what it is. Oh, yeah. Well, that's fake PG. That's fake PG. That's fake PG. That's fake PG. Well, well, well. Can't stress it enough. Yeah, can't stress it enough. Just it is what it is, baby. Yeah, not feeling it tonight. Are you feeling it, PG? Richie's not feeling it. I'm not reviewing this cigar. We're just hanging out with this. I guess we could test how it does in cold weather drink. Hey, what's up, bro?
It's me, dude. It's the real PG. It's real PG.
Nah, it's not really PG.
This is me. It's me. It's PG, dude.
It's not. Dude, I know a fake when it's fake. Dude, where's the black light? Where's your barcode?
I can't show that would give us a community restrict. You know what I mean? It'd end alive.
Why is the barcode on your balls?
I wish, dude. That'd be a lot more convenient.
So
Richie,
you wish for things on your balls?
No, I mean compared to where the barcode is now, but I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I got two options, Richie.
Yeah.
This is the Camacho broadleaf in a Toro, or the Avo Nicaragua in a Toro.
Well, it's funny, the same brand, right? It's all part of Davidoff, but two different brands. The Camacho, in that case, is the better cigar. But the Avo, you haven't smoked before?
I haven't smoked either before. Sacco recommended the Avo. I know you like the broadleaf. What do you think?
Oh, no. Avo's a good brand, but you haven't smoked the broadleaf yet?
I haven't smoked either.
Oh, no, dude, you got to smoke the broadleaf.
Okay.
Dude, if you haven't smoked the broadleaf, like, who the fuck is Sacco? Is this his show? Whose channel is this?
We're smoking the broadleaf.
You're smoking it. I'm smoking. I'm smoking a piece of shit, low tier cigar. Oliva Melanio torpedo. This is a piece of shit. So,
what happened, Richie? You ran out of cigars again?
What's that?
You ran out of cigars again? Where are you smoking that?
What do you mean? Yeah, like it's such a garbage cigar. yeah, yeah. Yeah, I literally went down to the corner and I gave a guy a hand job to get $2 to buy this cigar. Are you there yet?
yeah. I need to smoke my Melanio. I want to get it. Yeah. All right. Walk outside.
Yeah. So I'm not going to ask you your greatest fear because that question I can't ask people no more after Gary.
Yeah, I think that question is banned.
I got maybe I have to give a warn. Like I don't know, like a heads up. Like, all right, look. I thought it was gonna be like a haunted house, being buried alive. Like he was just like, now, my greatest fear is actually that I'm 451.
Dude, this
like,
thing won't.
Like I don't know if that's a fear. Like I think you maybe should talk to somebody.
I think it's one of those things. If you're not sure, I can't tell you. Brother, I'm gonna have to get right back on the live because this is not working.
What happened?
I can't rotate it. I tried going on my iPad and it won't
No,
rotate.
no.
So just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Oh, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. What do you got to do? I don't know what he's got to do. Look, what a stupid place. See, I can't start the cigar because PG smokes cigars so slow. You know, he smokes really slow. Mm, mm. It is what it is. I don't even know what time it is. 8:47. I don't know exactly what time it is, but it's probably 8:47. Is what it is. Yo, I appreciate you wearing pants. Thanks.
That should be your greatest fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, did you ever wonder sometimes a cigar you smoke a lot, or the world smokes a lot, and then sometimes you check yourself and you're like, "What is it? Is why do I like this cigar? Is it just because I've had it so many times? Does that make any sense? Has that ever happened to you before?"
It doesn't happen to well, I'll tell you, it hasn't happened to me in the sense that if I smoke a cigar, you know me, I'm very critical about it. So I never find myself smoking it and going, "This is worse than I remember by a lot." That happened so far. That
No,
said,
I'm not saying worse. I mean, like, just like, what do I like? Okay,
sure.
The Maduro versions of the Melanio V and the regular V. I know exactly why I like those cigars. So
Hmm.
the flavor, but what I'm saying is the flavor profile on the V and the Melanio V. I know I like the cigars, but like sometimes I think like, well, why do I like this cigar? Yeah, it's a great quality cigar. They're very reasonably priced. Even the whatever at lounges, man, torpedo this cigar. Man, I've seen them 16, $17 a cigar. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, so I guess the price point
Hmm.
and being close, or some people like them better than Padron, but the close to like the Padron 6426 series. And I definitely respected the V series. I'm not talking Maduro. With the regular classic V series, they definitely respected. And the thing is, they have respect and they command a lesser price. So it's like the whole package. It's kind of like if the Oliva V, if you're in a lounge and the Oliva Melanio V is the same price, like let's say they lowered Padron 26 price, or
Hmm.
if they raised the Melanio V to Padron 26 pricing, the Padron 26 is going to win. In my opinion, because that's the better cigar.
Yeah.
That being said, so it's like, do I only like this cigar because at a lounge it's like $8, $9 cheaper than the
Hmm.
Padron? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's not 8, 9. You're talking about probably anywhere from $12 to $15 for a Melanio V at a lounge. Now, on the internet is a whole other thing. But then does that hurt the cigar? Like, because the Melanio V's I get them cheaper online, I'm not going to buy them at a lounge. So I don't know.
For me, I always consider all that going in, so I haven't had that issue. That said, there have been a lot of cigars that I've smoked and I've said, "Can't believe it's as popular as it is," or "Can't believe people are buying it at this price point," etc. And interestingly, one of those cigars was the regular V, the Oliva V. And it's not that it's a bad cigar, but it's so people love it so much. And when I smoked it, to me, it felt like classic Habano, except darker, heavier, and chocolatey. Which,
I think for its time before AJ Fernandez,
mm,
that was the strongest cigar you could have. I think the timing on that cigar is relative. So, like if you were smoking that, before all these strong AJ cigars coming out for the same price,
yeah,
$7, $8 in a lounge,
yeah,
you can get B for like $7, $8, $9. You're like, well, that was a strong cigar for its time. Then AJ came out, and a lot of his cigars are better than the V, but they don't have the same brand recognition because one, he's kind of new, AJ Fernandez. Two, he's kind of gimmicky a little bit, so that hurts the branding. And three, he's all over the place. Like let's just talk about his cigars. He's always
Yeah.
coming out with new stuff, so people
Yeah.
aren't comfortable. Like whereas Oliva, like is Oliva V and Melanio V, and then later on they came out with Maduro version, but like it was a constant and very little change. So people, it's like a pillar of the cigar community. You know what I'm saying though? Where you're like AJ, it's more about AJ, not the individual cigar. Like you know what I'm saying though? It's like no one gives a shit really about the individual AJ Fernandez cigar overall. Like nobody cares. But
Yeah.
everyone in the mid-tier community who has no, we call it mid-tier mafia. Nobody has, nobody can say anything bad about AJ as far as giving the mid-tier community tons of cigars, whether they like them or not, that are strong and they're affordable, and you're gonna have an experience, and they're definitely you get a lot for your money,
Yeah.
and for guys that just view cigars, especially as flavor as strength, they love AJ Fernandez because I know guys that have had like smoke a lot of AJ stuff and those kind of cigars, and they had like an Opus X, and like, oh, that was a piece of shit. And I'm like, why? And they're like, there was no flavor because in their mind, flavor is strength. Does that make
Yeah.
any sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I would
So
say, interestingly, that you bring up AJ. I would put the San Latano Habano kind of in the same wheelhouse as the Oliva V, but I would smoke the San Latano way over the V personally. I don't think the V is a bad cigar. It just surprised me it was so popular. But now I understand it's a historical
you're
sort of.
you're you're a younger guy, so I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So like a while ago, like before AJ, and just in general, like before, AJ was just like internet only shit on like these like the cheaper diesel, not the storage diesel. And
Hmm.
like so, Oliva V was a strong offering, you know. Um, but I feel the V is still viable, but at the same time, the profile is kind of formulaic, and yeah, it is kind of like a sweet tomato. That's you know that there are better cigars out there for the money,
Hmm.
but for its time, it was what it was. What happened? You're out.
Yeah, I just refilled it, but it's out already. So it is what it is.
It's kind of windy, so I don't know if matches are gonna work. I'm gonna have to use matches, but dude, I'm gonna use my lighter to light my match.
This is the stinkiest cigar I've ever smelled in my life.
The variety.
It actually smells, frankly, it smells bad. It smells like manure in a bad way. All right, here goes. Okay, that's out too.
That was scary. Yeah. So it is what it is. So it's just me. It's just me, you, and Caleb.
And we're better for it, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a FaceTime right now. So here's what it is. I don't know, man. Initial impression.
Yeah, you're right. There's like it's like super chocolatey caramel type of,
And rock salt. New
maybe,
England rock
yeah, but
salt.
like a lot.
And black pepper. Yep. That's a great cigar, bro leaf. What size?
Toro.
Yeah, that should be in top 25. Oh, look who it is. AP. Whose
What?
show is this? I don't know. AP, have you ever heard of this? It's such a good lighter. Look at this. Look at this. These are $500. Really expensive. It's called Bic. It's really expensive lighter.
Is
I
that the
don't.
last
I don't
collaboration?
think I'm in Brooklyn, man. It's Brooklyn International Cigar Company, big.
That's the Laffy Taffy one. There's a very limited.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. If I just put like Habanos on, I could sell it for $5,000. I'll sell it to someone in China. Oh, it's the Cohiba Big Lighter. Wow. Wow. Wow.
It isn't Cuba Astro. Richie, it's interesting. The Camacho Nicaraguan, we smoked it, and there was like a lot of salt on it.
Mhm.
I'm getting that exact same salt.
But yes, yes, but you have a lot more sweetness, and the salt's not the main profile.
Right, right, 100%. Yeah,
So, yeah,
100%.
so the what was that Camacho? That one we talked about, the one with all the salt.
Nicaragua.
Yeah, Camacho Nicaragua was totally unbalanced, but it was a
Yeah,
lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but you're like, you got to be. It was like rock salt pretzels with black pepper. It was like, you got to be shitting me, you know. But that cigar is tons of sticky caramel with some rock salt, some black pepper. I'd like to see what else you get off it, but it's a great cigar, man.
yeah. It's almost like in a leather peanut butter range for me with the chocolate and the caramel, like right in there.
So like a very thick, creamy cigar.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It all it's like one complex flavor, if that makes sense. It's like it's one big flavor, but the flavor has a lot of depth to it.
It feels like all the notes are moving together. Where like it's not a la carte. No, and that's the difference. Sometimes cigars in a profile, you're like things can feel the timing could be different, or they feel well separated, or that I think part of that's probably with the aging room and everything. It's married well. The flavors on that are balanced. Like it's great profile, but all the notes are kind of moving together. You know.
Got like plum on that. You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
I I
It's
hate
not,
to I hate to say it. I was a little bit doubting this cigar because I haven't had amazing experiences with Camacho, but this is a pretty darn good cigar. You didn't. I mean, you never lie, but this is a good cigar,
yeah,
man.
no, that's a really good cigar. That's what it is. No, I lie all the time. I lie all the time. I'm Richie the liar. I put the lie in reliable.
Mm. Oh my god, dude. Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. That cigar, Sacco loves that cigar. Anthony P loves that cigar too, but then he tells everyone he hates it because it's not Cuban. So
No, no acetone, Sacco.
yeah,
The smell of the cigar on the outside, Sacco, was terrible. It was like real manure, like unsettling manure, but none of that on the actual flavor. So
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Man. Nobody cares. I just end the show right there. Like, it's just like, Richie, you okay?
dude, it's really good cigar. Sorry, it's really good cigar.
Hey, and that's what I'm talking about. That cigar, like it was kind of Camacho's best in a long time, and just overall, like that's. And you look at the price, what you're getting out of that. You're like, think about that though. What do you think about reusability? Like because it's such a great cigar, it's so pungent. Would you get sick of smoking that every day? Like, is it too much fucking caramel and salt? Like, or is it something you'll come? You know what I'm saying? Though, like,
I almost think it's beautiful enough that you could come back to it. I'm shocked. I'm
I
shocked.
like a week.
I would never expect if you would just when you described the profile, I was like, that's not reusable. You know what I mean? But it kind of is. What do you think?
If it's like an ice cream sundae, if you want tons of fucking caramel, and rock salt and pepper, and it's really. But the main thing about that cigar is sweet caramel, like nougat flavor, and it matches the band. The band goes well with the flavor. It looks like caramel, so it is what it is. And I don't give a shit what Sacco's is. I don't give a shit what Sacco's talking about. Sacco, whose show is this, Sacco?
Sorry, let me turn my notifications off so it stops buzzing my phone.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, 100%. Little nougat, caramel, peanut butter. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm at a pretty strong medium full. The Melanio doesn't disappoint in strength. It's not a weak cigar, but I must say the Melanio and the V Maduros, I can describe them to a T while I'm smoking, like everything I'm experiencing.
Mhm.
The V series and then even the Melanio V series, it feels like kind of like like you said, like a quasi Habano kind of cigar, but it's not a quasi Habano. And then a lot of vagueness, Nicaraguan spices, and you're like, what's going on? And like, it is a robust cigar. The regular V and the Melanio V are not sweet cigars. So like, they are spicy, but like, what do I like about it? Because there's other, and I don't know. I respect the V and the Melanio V, but I actually had a deep thought before. I was like, well, why do I love these cigars, or what? And I think, and they are good cigars. The Melanio V is a serious cigar. The Melanio V Maduro, I like infinitely better. And I can describe why I like it. What I'm saying is, if I was in court, I couldn't defend this cigar why I like it. It's more like I don't know. I just know it's a good cigar. I'm sounding like Johnny Stash when he's like, I don't know, either like it, I don't. So Melanio, the profile, it's not as easy to love, and it's not really. How do I say? It's not visible. The Maduro versions are like real simple. Like like that cigar is easy. That cigar is easy to love you smoking and simple to describe. Like from the first part, there's no mystery in that cigar. Like it's like, what are you lighting caramel on fire?
I I don't want. I'm getting like at the end of the finish, I'm getting like some plum or cherry. It's a really beautiful cigar.
Are you micro puffing?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually not. I'm still double puffing, but I'm going a little light because it's burning well.
Yeah. Dream Life, what's up, bro? Yeah. Do we have music? No, we have no music. I don't know. What do you want? Like elevator music, or you're on hold? Your call is very important to us right now. Try Richie's Quality Soaps. Here at Richie's Quality Soaps. Da-da-da-da-da. Are you fresh? Da-da-da-da-da. No cigars in prison. Da-da-da-da-da. Gary, what's your greatest fear? I'm glad you asked.
I was just thinking about that. No, I'd just like to say on this cigar, I'm getting right up front, like the rock salt, like you talk about, a little black pepper all the way throughout. I'm getting that rock salt, and then I'm getting that like somewhere between chocolate, caramel, peanut butter, and leather. And then the finish, sometimes there's a little bit of fruit on it, like a plum cherry. I by far, I would say this is Camacho's best cigar that I've smoked for me personally.
And when you factor in the price, it's stupid. And when you factor in the price, it makes cigars that cost more look stupid. So that cigar has a lot going on for it. It has too much going on for it for the price,
Hmm.
and more going on for it than other cigars that cost more money.
Hmm.
Like a $10 cigar, and that cigar could be $20 cigars. That doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it kind of begs the question. But that's why it's not like not all $10 cigars are created equal, and not all $20 cigars are created. There's no, it's not like a market price. Like what's the market price for for gold right now, or fucking I don't know for pork bellies or something like that. What's the market price? It's not.
I like the triple Maduro as well,
Yeah.
but this is better than that.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah, but time has moved on. That the triple Enduro is over 10 years old, so like you know, uh, Triple Maduro is a good cigar if you want a cigar that's just to be strong and dark, but it's not really a lively cigar. It's kind of a depressing cigar. It's a very heavy, dark cigar with no complexity. And so if you want that, if you want a super dark cigar that's just to the point where it's not totally. If it was any darker, it'd be sad. The cigar, like it'd be like smoking just flat earth and like flat like black coffee. Like you know what I'm saying though. Like it's at a certain point, if you make a cigar with so much dark tobacco, it almost all the flavor notes wash out, and you just taste it. Picture like a non-sweetened licorice candy bar. They're like, wow, it's dark, but not, like wow, like like it doesn't sound exciting. So
I I think. Oh, go ahead.
so I'm not saying the Constitutional is that, but it's close. So they were smart enough not to because for example the Hoyo Amistad Black, the Hoyo Black by AJ Fernandez.
Hmm.
depressing. Like that's a depressing cigar.
Yeah,
Like depressing.
I don't want any part of that cigar. I will say with the Camacho Triple Maduro, for me, I smoked it only one time, but somewhere between the halfway point and sort of midway into the final third, it gets this sort of like it becomes saturated with this dark cigar flavor. And to me, it became like this quintessential flavor of what a dark cigar could be, which I really appreciate. And I felt it hit that note. And earlier on the cigar, I guess because I was micro puffing that first third, I was getting a little bit more complexity, some interesting notes. So I did think it was a good cigar. I think you're right. I do think it's a good, it's a little bit better than your average dark cigar, though. But still, this beats that for sure.
Yeah, Macho Chip Maduro is not something you want to smoke every week, let alone every day. Like if you had to smoke that every day, after a week, you'd be like, I got to take a break from cigars. Like nobody's smoking Camacho Chip Maduro two a day. Like yeah. No, that's like if you want to just escape from reality and just like maybe like things are going so well. I need a semi depressing cigar to bring me back to reality. To like So what do you fucking want, Sacco? And AP's like, can you record some piano music so I can play on on my show? Yeah. Do I work for you, Anthony P? Who takes who? I gotta work for you now. You gonna owe me royalties? Are you gonna fucking pay me for my music? I'm gonna work for you. Maybe I'll just be in the background. Like you could put me as one of your 10 people. I'll just be like the lounge piano player.
Maybe he just feels that it'll tie him even more into the Richie stupid network.
Well, it is what it is.
It's a branding effort.
And like you do what you got to do, AP. You can have the whole. You can call AP and the choir because you have 10 people in the choir or nine. It's 10 total, right? He's got a good show, and then he can have pictures in the background. He can have music playing. Only thing left, you need like maybe a stripper, like a midget over 18, and I don't know, like maybe like a tornado or I don't know, like I don't know what else could you have going on, like flashbangs or just like I don't know, like
Well,
straight.
he's got little videos that he fires in the middle of the show, which I think is hilarious. So
If I was him, I would do subliminal messaging and just put like a millisecond picture of his dick, and just be across the screen real quick,
yeah,
and be like, "Did I just see that?" And then YouTube won't be able to figure it out. It's too fast. Like what I'm saying? No, because he's not actually showing his dick. Well, it's a picture of his dick. And I would just put like in the corner of the screen, just real quick, like a flash. You know what I'm saying? No, and
I
then
think
now everyone on the show is literally 451 now.
I think YouTube would pick up on that instantly. Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see how they would figure it out.
Well, if you're using any type of AI image
Yeah, but
recognition,
let me tell you why it's okay. They have videos of girls getting their coochies waxed. It's fine.
I can't
It's
speak.
fine.
Maybe it's okay per the terms. They would know about it. If it weren't okay, then it's not
They're
okay.
at Brazilian waxing videos. Is what it is.
Maybe AP should have a waxing night. Everyone get waxed while smoking a cigar.
Is Josh gonna have his asshole waxed?
That's up to Josh and AP. That's for them to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you could have like a puppet night where like you just see the puppet and like he's smoking the cigar, like you know what I'm saying though, like just like talk to the puppet. I think that'd be hysterical.
Yeah. I don't know. I think yeah, as he keeps adding stuff, I think it'll find a way. I
Well,
think
God bless. I mean, do what you want. Just don't tell me what the fuck to do.
you,
I'm rich,
you you
all
could
right.
have you could have little clips of Richie. He could interject clips of Richie saying different Richie things. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to be careful with that because if I'm not there, I didn't give you rights for my images. I didn't give you permission to do that. You got to watch
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Only with your
I'll,
permission.
I'll I'll sue your motherfucking ass. How about
All
that?
right.
I'll sue
So
your ass.
Richie, would you say this cigar is reusable or
I'll
no?
sue your ass. Like you literally, he's in court. And this is your asshole. It's just like, Your Honor, the defendant. You see the asshole's like, pleads not guilty.
Josh says he'll do it for the lounge.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, AP. Of course you'll like the idea because it's Richie's idea, man. Here's what it is, man. Listen. It is what it is. It is.
It's, it's
It
the
is.
original.
AP. Never forget, AP. You are a branch of Richie. You're in my cigar network, baby. Come on, baby. Don't, because if you forget where you come from, then you'd be a liar. So, and you're not a liar. So, quality soaps, can't stress that enough, right? Right? You, you can never forget where you come from, no matter who you are. You know what I'm saying, though? Because once you do that, then you're lost. You know what I'm saying? Though? Because you can't be like, oh, who's Richie? Oh, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, can't do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think he wants to be part of the network. I guess actually, if he was forgetting about Richie, I think that would actually be funny because he
Hey,
was also actively
I,
trying.
and don't speak for the man. He's a grown ass man. Why are you speaking for him?
I was just speculating on his intention. I'm not saying I know what he's thinking. Just saying what I think. What I think. What he's doing. What I perceive of what he's doing.
Which one are you? Are you an asshole or a psychic?
I guess the asshole because I'm not a psychic. I
Right,
got a, I got
right.
a, got a little bit of bread, sweet bread, and red pepper also when I held the smoke. It's really nice.
I told you that's a great cigar.
Do you think it's reusable?
It is, but I don't think it's okay. You got to be careful. This is what I mean by it. You got to be careful. You're smoking right now, and it's great. Let the dust settle, right, and give it a week and see if you smoke it again. If you don't, it was still great, but like maybe you get what I'm trying to say about great cigars. Like I had a great time with it, and if I saw it again online, I got a good price, I'd buy it. But I didn't stop what I'm doing to get more. So is that what I'm trying to say? So it is great, but I think it's to me it's a great cigar that I'll definitely do again. But it doesn't have to be right now. Does that make any sense?
Do you put any stock into the idea of when you finish the cigar immediately wanting to smoke another one of the same cigar?
Say it again.
Do you put any stock into the idea? Some people say about once you finish the cigar, like right then, and you're like, oh, I could smoke another one right now,
Wow,
and they
that's
begin.
you think the best cigar to pair with a cigar is the same cigar. Wow, that's a great. You guys got some great phrases. Eat prunes. Wow, the best cigar to pair with a cigar is the same cigar. You guys are smart. You guys, I would smoke two of those cigars back to back
Two
because
of these.
it's
Mhm.
just strong enough. But that's exciting. But if it was any stronger, what two would be too much. Like you could do two of those back to back, and then you can be fucking lit afterwards.
Yeah,
Uh, like, and imagine eating ice cream with caramel sauce like at the same time. You're like, ah, it's just caramel, like
I could,
that is a
I
great
could do.
cigar to pair with a sundae. I can't stress it enough.
I could get some caramel ice cream, but
And Josh will start sweating. Don't do it.
yeah, no.
Hold on, AP says he's finishing Anejo. Who's that? Is that your Spanish lover? He's like Anejo, don't go. Finish me off. Like it's like imagine it's just like a 6'3" like a guy from the Bronx. He's just like my nam me llamo es Anejo. AP is like I'm finishing him off. Uh,
FXFXDFNY says he's smoking the
just,
triple.
just call him whatever. Just call him the fireman. Why is he just call him the fucking fireman? All right.
All right, fireman smoking triple Maduro.
He likes that cigar. Yeah, yeah.
Fireman, are you getting good flavor out of this? That good complexity, or are you
There
finding that
is
it's getting
flavor in
to?
the cigar, but it's a very dark. It's not like it's a moving cigar. It's not like it's a vibrant cigar.
Yeah,
It's not like even the spice on it's like intense. It's like a heavy, slow cigar. Does that make any sense? Picture like an iceberg. How it's there, it's big, it's bold, but it's moving slow. Not going anywhere, but moving real fucking slow, baby. That's that kind of cigar. Um, where like that the Camacho Nicaragua. That was vibrant. That the spice on that was like, oh my god,
yeah,
you're like that was too much. Like and the profile was too much salt. But it worked. That's not a reusable cigar. I'll definitely have that cigar
yeah,
again.
yeah.
But the Nicaragua Camacho was like, if you smoke that like back to back or like every day for a week, I think you'd lose your insanity.
I'm sorry about the experience you had with the 60 because the experience I had with the 60 was very similar to that with the Camacho Nicaragua, where I was just like, like so much. It was everywhere
Robusto, right?
in the Robusto. Yeah.
I'm very mad because I know the flavor was there. It was really nice flavor, but
Yeah.
the 58 gauge, that's fat. It really opened it up. I
Yeah.
was really mad, and the last stir was great. So I really wish I could have tried that in not a TAA size. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, like, no, I'm not calling you a liar. The flavor was good on it, but the 58 gauge, you talking about 8 gauges bigger than 50, it opened it up.
Yeah.
It,
And it's like exponential as you open it up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like,
yeah, yeah.
or quadratic, but you know what I mean?
No, it is. It is. You know, I can't. The diameter, the diameter matters. You can't stress it enough.
Did you did you feel there was any resemblance to the Padron 26 Maduro at all in the final third?
You could say it overall experience, but if you zoom in, no. I mean, the spice on the Padron moves harder. The spice in the Padron, there's more spacing in the spice. Where you can have a constant black pepper spice, but with the
Mhm.
Padron pepper spice, picture like champagne. Everything's it's bubbly, moves around. The
Yeah.
spice Padron moves around, which I like. But that's okay. But the chocolate was a darker, thicker chocolate on the Patel,
Padron.
Rocky Patel.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and it was more peanut butter. It was like, dude, it was a really like, it was a
Huh.
really delicious cigar. It was more sweet than the Padron,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as lively. But once again, I was smoking it in 58. In 50, I'll have to give it a fair shot. You know? I think you're going to be interested when you watch my review of the Camacho. I'll post it tonight. The Camacho Unleashed,
Yeah.
the Factory 3.
Yeah.
Um, all I'm going to say is you're not going to expect what happens.
I'm looking forward.
All I can say is you're not going to believe what happens. I didn't even believe it was going to happen because I didn't think that, and I did it, and I'm glad I did it. And that's all I'm going to say until you watch it. The Camacho Unleashed Factory 3, I can recommend, but you're going to need special directions. You're going to have to watch the episode. I
Wow.
can't stress it enough.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough. I don't want to say anymore because I'm going to give it away here. You know what I'm saying? No, and I got to go make some piano music for AP because
Yeah.
apparently my fucking boss.
Well, you're also the franchiser, right? He's part of your franchise, so you send down branding to
I
him.
didn't get this. I'm not paid to be here. I got it because I paid the price to be the motherfucking boss for 5 fucking years, putting out content pretty much every fucking day, sometimes twice a day. Nobody has the balls to do that. Whether I have 10, 20, 40 guys here or one person. Like it's just Caleb. Caleb's like, I'm here. I'm like Caleb will come on. Like Caleb's like, eat your prunes. Like, so I'm just saying, like, like I earned this fucking shit. Okay? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like day in and day out. Like I'm telling you, you'll see the grind. Like try doing it a year. Try doing it 2 years. Like it I'm telling you, because if you go by just a night, like there's some bad nights in the cigar community. And then there's so much great nights and so much fun. And they're like, why can't it be like this every time? Because it's not. Because people are not reliable. I can't stress it enough, you know?
Is
But
a
you
lot
have
of
to be reliable.
variance.
You have to be reliable so other people can be not reliable.
Hmm.
If
Sure.
you're not reliable and I don't make an episode pretty much every day, you won't know that people are not reliable.
It's funny. I noticed that how if there's a person who everybody in a community knows, what a tremendous amount of involvement they have because each person has a very small subset of the experience in the community. So if each person has a very large degree of interaction with that one person, it means they have to be there catering to each subset in terms of the time and the interaction. So yeah, I totally understand that.
60% of my channel is Sacco. Like I'm invested heavily in Sacco on my channel. Like I rely on Sacco a lot. I rely on him. Especially during the week with the shift change.
Yeah,
It works out better for him on the West Coast.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying though?
Sokka's the man, dude. We're super lucky to have him in the channel.
It
And
is
it's
great.
Great that you get to be part of his show.
Yeah. He said the rap. He said the rapping piano. You got it. Look how he wrote that though. It doesn't look like what he said. Like, I think I don't like the way that's spelled. Uh, yeah, it's late here. I don't want to hear it. AP. I don't want to hear it. It is what it
Caleb, I would highly recommend a sentence like the piano with rap or something like that. I think.
is. No. The rhyming piano.
Yeah.
Okay, like the rapping piano. When you look at it, you're like, man,
Mm.
that piano's going to do life in jail. It is what it is. I can't stress it enough. It is what it is. The Sacco in me is the Sacco in you. The Versace in me is the Versace in you. Here's the thing, though, baby. You got to have your own show. You got to make your own fucking phrases, and to make your own phrases is hard because it is because it's got to be something no one said before, which means most people are not going to accept it right away. But then it has to be good enough for them to accept it, and they'd be like, and then just keep on saying it. And over the years, um, I put in the work, like you know what I'm saying though, and stop the gouge,
So-
tension for camping, quality soaps, no cigars in prison. Here's this one: cigars are cheaper than lawyers. You ever hear these phrases? Have you eat your prunes? You never heard of this shit? Limit your alcohol. I can't stress it enough. Right? Nothing you want in your mouth. Right? You never heard of that? You ever hear this shit? You know what I'm
no.
saying?
I've heard it's 11 p.m. Do you know where SAC is?
Yes. I can't stress it enough. Oh, well, that was another one. Oh, take it to the bank and cash it twice. It is what it is. Oh, that was an episode with you. Is what it is. Each one of these phrases had like, is what it is. Was a 4 hour episode. Like so, it's not a phrase. There's a backstory to it. When I brought up stop the gouge and exposed that we're all part of the gouge, and I'm going to stop it. And like, well, you can't stop it. No, you can stop it for yourself though. Because think about it. Like, who buys your cigars? You. So you can stop the gouge by stop paying for the gouge. You can say, oh, what about everyone? Fuck everyone else. You can say, I'm not going to spend 200% for a Fuente. And then there you go. And then Fuentes aren't gouged for anymore for you. But guess what? Every time you were gouged, it was only gouged for you. It's not like when someone else is buying it, it's costing you any money. So if you want to stop the gouge, you literally stop gouging. That's it.
Hey man, the only charge I ever paid was for a bowl. I paid $25 for two different. Paid $25 a bowl.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't go for the gouge. I only bought one because it was like $18. It's not that bad. Uh,
You know,
Caleb,
for a one-time experience, I'm okay with that. If it happens, you do what you got to do because you're like, oh, I want to try it out because before they run out or something. But for cigars, you're going to buy on a normal basis, like a Padron 26. I'm not
right,
paying dollars for it. Like I'm not. You can go fuck
right.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? And turn your back on the crack. That's true. Turn your back. BBW baby.
What about there's crack?
Yeah,
Caleb, I want to congratulate you for fixing the sentence. So a little round of applause for
yeah.
Caleb.
Gangster rap. Yeah. The other way around, it was more like R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Though. Yeah. He said, "Don't smoke the Cohiba Black before the purple." Absolutely. Once you smoke a Cohiba Black, that's the same thing. Like in a way, like smoking like a Chip Maduro. The night's over. The only thing else you can smoke is like the same cigar for the most part. Like like Cohiba Black is a dark, slow-moving cigar, just like the Trip Maduro. You could put cigars pretty much in the same category. Uh,
This turn, this turn of phrase is going down a slippery slope, Richie,
but
in terms of the order in which you should smoke cohibas.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Never mind. Moving on.
What the fuck?
Chewy, is that what you meant?
Yeah, don't smoke cream of black before the purple. Yeah, the
Right.
cream of purple. Like cream of purple, you smoke first if you're gonna have a black second. Because if you smoke cream of black, it's such a dark, heavy, long, slow finish that after your palate's gonna be, the night's over. Unless you want to smoke another cream of black or like a Camacho Trip Maduro, that kind of cigar. I think Camacho Trip Maduro and cream of black. If you want to have a real dark cigar night with like slow, dark, heavy flavor, then go for a triple Maduro and a Cohiba Black back to back.
Which order would you go?
Was that?
Cahiba, which order would you go?
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting because you got to factor how the last one's going to coat your tongue with the new one.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. Hmm. And then you got to factor in strength because the Chip Maduro is stronger on the palate than the Cuiva Black, but the Cuiva Black sneaks up on you. If you hold the smoke on a Cuiva Black like that night, you're gonna have nightmares. Like I'm gonna wake up and you're like, I need water. Oh, like you know what I'm saying? Cuiva Black it is a dark, strong cigar, but it's so dark that it doesn't like. It's not a lively flavor. I can't stress it enough. It's like it's a slow burn. Does that make any sense? So I don't think it really matters. I'd probably smoke the Cuiva Black first, then the Triple Maduro.
Hmm.
But then again, do you want to end with? Yeah, maybe you want to start off with the one that's more stronger on the palate, and
I
then
can't imagine smoking anything after a triple Maduro, personally.
that would be a powerhouse night. That would be probably too much. You
Triple Maduro is end of the line for me personally. You know what I mean?
wake up spinning. If you don't eat like during that, you're gonna wake up spinning. You know. Sako said, "I gotta get a second job to afford my cigar habit." Yeah, it is. One day, Sako, you get a Corolla, and here's what it is.
Yeah, same Chewy. I stood up from the Chewy said that the triple Maduro had him melting in his chair. I stood up from the triple Maduro and I was like, where am I? It's like that was one of the strongest cigars I smoked for sure.
A Master Blend 3 after a Trip Maduro, bad idea. Bad idea. That's like suicide.
I wouldn't even smoke a Macanudo after a triple Maduro.
No, what I'm saying, but Master Blends 3, like, I don't know. I'd probably only mix Master Blends 3 with Master Blends 3, but that's Master Blend 6. Master Blend 6 is, or
Yeah,
Master Blends 33.
yeah,
It's a bad idea. Master Blends 3 is a bad idea to begin with. And then after one, you're like, that should be enough. Like, that was enough.
yeah.
Like what was that movie with the pig? That will do, pig. What was that little kids movie? Remember the little kids movie with the pig and the English guys like that will do, pig. Remember the pig movie? That will do, pig. You don't remember that movie?
I remember the sound, but I can't place it.
Yeah, it was a movie called Babe. It was see he knew right away. We were talking about pork, and he's like, yeah, yeah. He said,
Hey,
yeah.
dude,
How about now? There's another phrase. You want some pizza? I mean, how much more? How much more? How much more shit do you want? You know what I'm saying, though? How about Jenny and Alan? You know what I'm saying, though? Work at the bagel place. What do you want?
nothing.
What these bitches want from Richie?
As a Melanio.
It's a strong cigar. It's like three-quarter darkness. It's pretty heavy, pretty long finish. But like the flavor, I don't know why I like it. It's not like if I try to take down the individual notes, it's not like something that sounds amazing, but
Hmm.
it is a good cigar. It is a great cigar. So I don't. I think just Melanio V. I don't like to talk about it. I do enjoy it, and especially getting it online for a stupid price. Then you're like, well, it's too good of a cigar to pass down for. I think I paid $3 for this, which is stupid. So it's a great upper mid tier, or really high mid tier cigar, in my opinion. That hang out with like a Padron 64, great cigar. But I don't. The profile is not something, in my opinion, to be like, wow. But it is a good cigar, man. It's a great cigar. It's a classic. But the Maduro version is lights out. The Maduro. Do you ever have the Maduro version or no? That's the lights out difference.
I'm starting to get earth, earth and caramel off this. It's nice. It's interesting, and it's actually changing as it's going.
Hmm. It's changing. You micro puffing?
Oh yeah,
I guess so, man.
I'm micro puffing, I'm double puffing, I'm triple puffing, I'm holding the smoke, using all techniques, Richie.
Are you fisting it?
How do you do that? Can you walk me through that process?
Can you tie your shoes?
You make me come on, Richie. Don't make me choke. Fuck, dude. Come on.
What's your greatest fear? That's what it is. So I think the fact that the Melanio V, first
Hmm.
couple of car, the quality's there, the construction's there, is always at least 25% to 40% cheaper than a Padron, like 26 at the lounge.
Hmm.
So, wow, I'll have a good night tonight. And what's within the night, whatever, gives a shit. Like it's actually $8 in your pocket or $7 in your pocket for the Padron. And it's a great cigar. And it's a slower burning cigar. When you factor in the Maduro version, though, then it's a lot closer than the Padron 26. Without the Maduro, though, I'm like, yeah, well, when I get them online, it's a lot cheaper. Then it's fucking phenomenal. But at full price, I wouldn't be buying Melanio V at the store. So, and at the full price, even if it wasn't available online at a cheap price, I still wouldn't be paying full price at a store. So, does that make any sense?
So, what do you think the right price for a Melanio V is?
Um,
In terms of if it was just at a store, it wasn't available online. What should the price be?
I think $11 to $12 like would be reasonable asking for. It's a quality cigar, man. But when I see them for like 17, 18, I've seen them for $20.
Yeah,
That's too much. At that point, I'm just going to go Padron. The problem is that same lounge will be selling Padron for $40.
yeah. Cigar is getting kind of stinky. Not in a bad way though. This is an interesting cigar. I'm
What
not
do
sure.
you mean?
Hmm?
What do you mean stinky?
Stinky.
Like the smell?
Yeah, and just like the flavor is kind of like earthy, pungent.
Oh, it's a very pungent cigar,
Yeah,
but it has great sweetness.
I think I'm not sure what wheelhouse I would put this in. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. The cigar is so good. I don't give a shit what the wheelhouse is. I think it's a great cigar.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's kind of unique in a way. It reminds me
Oh,
of the. Uh huh.
it's definitely
What you say?
it's a very unique cigar.
Yeah, it definitely. The only things that I could relate it to are the triple Maduro and the Camacho Nicaragua. So it really is like their brand, their flavor profile. They're doing something unique. It's interesting.
Oh, that wrapper has good fermentation. That's a great wrapper.
Yeah.
That wrapper because it's definitely got the rock salt like the other cigars. So but the wrapper on that thing is giving all that sweetness.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. He says he enjoys the triple Maduro, but he doesn't have it all the time. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good
Yeah.
cigar. It's like a limited use cigar, and that's a factor when it comes to cigars. I think the broadleaf is definitely more than limited use. Maybe I put it into like a monthly rotation.
Yeah. Camacho has this thing where it gets very it's not sharp per se. It's just a little bit below sharp. It's kind of in the middle, but there's sort of this intensity, and there's always this flavor to Camacho. I'm not sure what it is.
It's
Maybe
that
it's
Honduran tobacco. The Nicaraguan tobacco is very easy to figure out. It's very
Mhm.
in your, very aggressive. So I know what you're talking about. When you smoke like a Padron, there's no mystery. Honduran tobacco has a little more mystique to it. So I don't know. I'll tell you what. At that cigar for only $10 when I was in a lounge, versus smoking like a Padron 64 for like it was 18.
Yeah,
At that price, I smoked that cigar because I've had 64 so many times and I love it. But like, I'll have just as good time with that cigar as the Padron. In fact, that cigar will do stuff the 64 can't. And I love the 64, but that cigar the broadleaf Camacho is fucking phenomenal. It really is. I'm glad it's the first time you had it. But it's a memorable cigar.
yeah. It must be their Corojo. There's Corojo in this, right?
I don't recall. La Bamba, yeah, a classic La Bamba is a good cigar. Not the verse. Was it the 8 version wasn't good, and the 9. I think the 7 was good, right? The last two La Bambas sucked. Like they sucked, but the one from 2 times ago, right?
Hmm.
7 was good, if I recall correctly, right? Because did I just have the 8 and the 9? The 8 was like the big gauge, like the 60 gauge box press. That sucked. And then I had the last one, right, which was like that, like a perfecto, like a double perfecto.
You like the one that was like a Churchill, I think.
Yeah, but that was like 7, I think.
That the
Like the
seven.
last two sucked. The big box press one sucked, and then the new one was more like a perfecto, I think, and that sucked.
Do you think Espinosa is falling off?
What's that?
Do you think Espinosa is falling off?
Um, no, maybe maybe they're trying to not. They're doing it clearly on purpose. I think that maybe they're trying to make that version instead of just a stronger version. They're trying to make it like more expensive, more like a luxury version of that cigar, which is a stupid way to take it. You know what I'm saying though? Like maybe they're like, oh, we're using a little more exotic tobacco.
Yeah.
No, people want the La Bamba, and then the La Bamba, what's it called?
Warhead.
Warhead was supposed to be like the extreme version.
Right. I
So
remember.
what's that?
I was gonna say. I remember smoking the Espinosa Habano as one of the first cigars I smoked,
Yeah, that's gonna be
and
strong.
I couldn't handle it. I had to put it out less than a third in because it was so spicy.
I
One.
saw that at the lounge the other day. Yeah, that's a strong cigar. Like you have the Espinosa, the 601, the blue.
Mhm.
That's a great cigar. They're
That's-
broadleaf.
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I mean, I think regular classic Habano cigars, though, as far as big brands, they can be played out as far as, especially when you talk about pricing, because
Yeah.
most cigars, if you go to a lounge, if it's a true like a Habano type of wrapper, they all almost taste the same. So at that point, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So like very rarely do you see like, oh, this is a $30 Habano, like just like a straight Habano, where you're like, oh, like classic, like old school Cuban blend, where it's like tons of sourdough, like a drier, dirtier earth, not like dark earth, black pepper spice, and like twanginess, and like a dry cedar. Like that's every fucking Habano, like every one. If it's a true classic Habano, so I think a lot of companies have done tweak stuff, like General has like that Connecticut slash Habano type wrapper where try to get a little more sweetness from the Connecticut broadleaf. They tweak it like that, or et cetera, et cetera. So, but like the Oliva O, if you know what I'm saying, though, that's like a good, dirty, cheap Habano. You
Yeah.
know, so is Del Rico Habano was probably the best like straight Habano general production, just in general. Like talking about $10, and that cigar made me sick.
I gotta try that because I like the Oliva. Oh, I know you're not a huge fan of it, but the Josh says Dominican Honduran long filler. Interesting. Honduran binder. So it must have some Corojo, but I actually think the Dominicans doing a lot of work here. I think it's actually really successful with the Honduran.
Yeah, I think Dominican Honduran goes well together. Um, but it's a Honduran broadleaf, which is kind of unique,
Yeah.
but it works. I think Honduras with their Cameroon is phenomenal. Um, I'm not sure if I had a Honduran Connecticut shade. Honduran with the shade grown. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
can't think of that.
I don't know, but because they just go with Ecuadorian, it's cheap, it's
Right.
available.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think anything you normally like, they could, like broadleaf, they do in Connecticut. They can do it in Honduras and Cameroon. They can do it in Honduras, and I think it comes out pretty well.
I like the extra funkiness of this Honduran broadleaf versus a regular broadleaf. It actually adds a little bit of depth to it. Like it's a little bit almost towards a Matafina, but not so much that it gets like stinky. Like Matafina can get hard to smoke, but this is nice.
No, I think well, we all know Honduran cigars and Honduran tobacco overall is completely overlooked. So
Yeah.
the good thing about that is most people's mind has not experienced a lot of Honduran tobacco. So the good thing is it could be very exciting for the future to have really interesting Honduran cigars. Like if we had like a Liga Number Nine kind of a cigar from Honduras, or an Opus kind of a cigar from Honduras, like that kind
Yeah.
of level. I think it will happen. I just think when people go for Honduran cigars, they're not going for $20, $30 cigars because CLE is trying to do it. Like Aroa is trying to, and they don't sell. Nobody wants a $30 Aroa. Like, what are you kidding me? Nobody wants it. So, the
I,
market's not.
I smoked one of the CLE, the Cameroon, the other day. And that's like a 16 $7 $17. Um, and it was good, but it wasn't really any better than an Aladino. In fact, might be worse than an Aladino. You know what I mean? So I don't.
I don't think Honduran tobacco is prone to making. I don't think it's good in high end. And what I mean by high end is what makes a cigar high end. Well, lots of aging and fermentation. Well, I don't think, unlike with Dominican cigars, because you think about high end Nicaraguan, like you thought, like Padron, for the most part. I mean, once you go to like the family reservists, they have 10-year age tobacco, but you know, I don't see Honduran like with 10, 15-year age cigars, tobacco combined and everything. I think they're great in the mid category. That's where they shine. That's where the Honduran tobacco shines.
Mhm.
Super aged Honduran, like, oh, it's a 13-year age Honduran cigar. Like, that's not, that's not why I would smoke a Honduran cigar.
Yeah.
Honduran are a unique kind of tobacco. They're kind of funky. That smell off the Unleash was really funky. And I don't want to tell you what I did, but you're going to see with the cigar, real quick, what Richie did. And it was a winner for the Honduran tobacco. That's all I'm going to say.
I think that mm, I'm getting a little bit of that. There's like a Honduran cream flavor people don't talk about. I'm
Like,
getting.
like a
Not,
nougat thing feel.
yeah, but it's almost like a floral earthy cream. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a vegetal floral earthy cream. Sometimes I get off Honduran. I'm getting that off this. It's very nice. I think that to your point, the Honduran cigars, maybe it's adding some flavors that are going to add some interest to a mid-tier blend, if that makes sense. I'm not, again, I don't think we've really smoked a high-end Honduran yet, so I don't even know what that would look like.
I think a lot of like when it comes to like let's say like straight Dominican or a lot of cigars with Dominican tobacco, in the mid tier they really don't shine. Like they don't like they can be almost harsh. You know what I'm saying though? And
Yeah.
it's just like Nicaraguan, like not all the AJ cigars were winners in the mid tier market, like on the lower mid market. Like cheap young Nicaraguan tobacco is kind of harsh. It's very earthy and tons of black pepper. But there was that guy talking about how people that the people they're using strong Nicaraguan tobacco. He's like, why do people think Nicaraguan tobacco is just so strong and earthy, black pepper? He's like, what if I would tell you just that strong and earthy because they're not fermenting it long enough and they're saving money and giving you cheaper tobacco. And I was like, holy shit. So like, you
Do,
know,
do you do you buy that 100% though?
I think it's some factors though. You know what I'm saying? What he's trying to say is though that Nicaraguan tobacco, people like the way it tastes. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They accept it. Where nobody cares about like a young, cheap, harsh Dominican cigar, like a piece of shit. But like people go crazy for opus because aged Dominican tobacco tastes awesome,
Hmm.
awesome. Like so. It
I,
is.
eh, that reminds me of the CEO Cameroon, which you say is harsher and dirtier. And I don't even. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't get it. Like I do get it when you say it. That's what I mean to say. When you said it, I was like, oh, okay, I get that. But when I smoked it, I didn't pick that up. You know what I mean? I didn't process. So I think it's a really good use of that dirty young tobacco, and it just goes straight by as like normal good flavor.
Well, you look at the price point of that cigar too, and how they're doing that. I'm telling you that's not super aged Nicaraguan tobacco under that
Yeah.
Cameroon tobacco. Um, but the power of that is younger Nicaraguan tobacco, which could be a little on the dirtier side. Um, Almost like mass. How do I explain this? The CAL anniversary feels like a Master Blends 3 with a Cameroon wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
if you took off the Master Blend's wrapper and put like the a Cameron wrapper, it would taste like the CAO anniversary, like like a sweet, dirty black pepper earthy cigar. That is a good cigar, but it's when you compare it to like the Hemingway, you're like wow, But that's more expensive and much more aged.
What do you for the Master Blends 3, how would you describe if you have that core of dirtier, younger Nicaraguan tobacco, how would you describe if you say Cameroon wrapper for the CA, how would you describe the Master Blends 3 in terms of what does it add to the blend?
What do you mean?
Oh, is it because isn't it like a sun grown broadleaf or something? It's something weird.
I don't remember if it's Brother Maduro or Brother Summer. I don't remember the Master Blends 3. I'm just saying that the wrapper is very dark, strong,
Okay.
younger, but it's it's being pushed by some very young, strong tobacco. So you know, the CL. I don't know what your fucking question is, but the CL Anniversary is a good cigar, especially for $6. And it has its place. Hmm.
Where's the dome at?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm just, I'm saying, like it's like when you're in a restaurant and you're looking at a homeless guy going through garbage cans outside. You're like, oh, that's terrible. Like, that's what saying though. You're like, oh, somebody should do something. He said media tempo after Master Blends 3. Absolutely not. That's suicide. That is suicide.
My question was just because it's like having that core like we saw the other or I saw the other day. The red dot is like a Cohiba because it's got the allure with the or the Piloto Cubano. Sorry, than with the Cameroon. So I was just wondering what the wrapper on the Master Blends 3 is bringing to that dirty profile, how it changes it.
Well, I think that wrapper does give it some chocolate sweetness to it, and darkness, But but I don't think it's a super aged wrapper, and I don't think it's very well aged filler. And that's why you can get that cigar really cheap. Um, and it's funny, some lounges in New York were trying to sell it for $17, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like I said, I got them, in the 5 packs for $3. Like
Yeah,
that's where it belongs. That's why when the Melanio V was in the same 5 pack for $3, like that's an insane deal. You know what I'm saying though? But that's like really stupid. So, but like I'd buy Melanio V's all day for $3. Like, what are you crazy?
yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting how there seems to be like because you say the wrapper's a lot of the flavor, but then the filler, the filler on these Camachos, it gives it a similar flavor profile across the. This reminds me of both their Corojo. It reminds me of the Nicaragua, obviously, and a little bit of the triple Maduro, less, but a little bit. So clearly, the filler is doing something. It's kind of creating
Yeah,
the
the
like the
filler is pushing the wrapper, and what if the filler is like a ratio, and if it's the same ratio, it's going to bring out it's going to bring that out of the wrapper. If that makes any sense. If you have a very very cheap tobacco underneath the wrapper, it's going to push it really really dirty. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
How
Yeah,
nice So you can so it's the the filler amplifies the wrapper. You know, uh, like I said, so that's why even with a cheap shitty filler, a shade grown Connecticut wrapper, still gonna taste not like a dirty shitty shade
right.
cigar. You're not gonna get like 90% darkness. It's just gonna be like wow, 50% darkness, but like really bitterness and grassiness and you know. So yeah, I don't know what this guy wants. But I don't know if Sacco's here. I guess no one's around. There's no one in the dome. Me and you're like too good right now to handle this for like.
Well, what's funny is we've seen so many variations of trolls. At this point, we're just like, I mean, it's funny. It is what it
Yeah, but
is.
the cruelest thing just to like not even acknowledge it. Like it's just like it's
Thank,
like
thank you, Caleb. Thank you, Caleb. I think you could have splurged for more than 10 seconds, but that's your choice as as the dome operator.
He was the only one available. So he was the only cop that showed up. He's like, I'm retiring in 2 days. You know, he didn't want
I'm still getting caramel on the retro. So nice.
you think that makes you special though?
No.
Think anyone cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
People who like cigars.
Like, if people like cigars, why do they light them on fire? What do you think about that?
I think if you were trying to insult the idea of a Zen koan, that this is the type of creation you would invent.
Well, in a way, lighting a cigar on fire, in the grand scope of things, that's how that cigar lives. It's not alive
Right.
until it's on fire. In a way, it's dead until you light it, and then when you light it for temporary, it's alive until it just disappears.
Right.
It literally disappears once you smoke the cigar. It disappears. So,
Yeah. It's an expendable. Yeah. For sure.
yeah. So well, it's just like us. You say, oh, if you weren't born, you wouldn't have died, but also you wouldn't have. The main thing is you wouldn't have time for experience.
Mm-hmm.
uh, a series of experiences. So the cigar in the little finite is maybe an hour of experience for that cigar, but it's I don't know.
Don't make me upset about cigars, dude. The mortality of cigars. It's getting really serious. Like,
Mortality of us. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's kind of like life. You're born, um, and they cut your cap. They try to influence you. They program you, and then they light your feet on fire. Like, go get a job. Go figure it out. And then you go through your first third, your second third. Some people are plugged. Some people just get put out. Some people, they get no.
Some people burn fast. Some people burn slow.
Yeah, some people the wrapper just comes off. Some people, it's just some people get thrown off a balcony. I don't know.
Some people are bitter immediately.
Mhm.
Some people too wet. You get bitter.
Yeah, but cigars are a product of the environment, and there's a lot. Because even if you had the same exact cigar, right? But then one cigar got to spend 2 years in an aging room. Well, is that better than a cigar that only had three months? In some ways, you could say yes, but other ways, maybe depending on the kind of cigar, if it already had great fermentation, maybe you don't want it 2 years on it. Like, for example, like, what if a Padron 64, they had a special version where they age for 2 3 years after they roll it. I
Hmm.
don't think that would make it better. I think it would make it quieter and smoother and less spicy. That's not what people like Padron.
Interesting.
You know?
What do you think about? Yeah, I guess aging is almost like parenting, right? Like if you have really careful parents, they'll like smooth you out, but I guess they could also smooth you out too much.
Yeah, well, but it also depends what the cigar is trying to be and what market you're trying to hit. Nobody wants a smoother Padron. Nobody wants a medium strength Padron. That's not what they're trying to do, and that's
That's
not what. And they're not doing that.
right. Hmm.
And Padron is pretty much medium full to full strength. We're not talking about the Damaso, but every Padron is medium full to full strength. They know what their people want. They're spicy, they're earthy. If it's natural, you're gonna get cedar, twanginess, drier notes. If it's dark, if it's a Maduro one, you get tons of chocolate, and with the earth and the black pepper. Like, I just can't stress it enough. You know, they figured out. You know, they're very basic. Like Padron is almost like Apple, like iPhones. They're not changing it. Like, oh yeah, this year they only do 96 Patron. And what's next year? Oh, the 97. And how is it different? Oh yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different. It's a different shape.
How much different really are they? Because I know they get super limited, but like If it's a similar blend, it's just a little bit more aged, does it really I mean, is there a significant change?
No, 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 no. I don't care whatever it is. They're all strong. They're all dark. They're all tons of black pepper, maybe tons of red pepper as well, and very earthy. And if it's the Maduro versions, which people will generally buy, then you'll add in some chocolate to it, and that's what they do. Like that's what Padron does. Like um, I can't stress it enough. Like they figured out like their whole lineup. Like a 64 and 26. Like 64 is just a younger 26, and 26 is a older 64 in a way, and the 64 will be a little more lively, a little more spicy, and the 26 will be more sweeter, but still spicy. So 26 I think is their perfect cigar. Like it does everything, and I'm also factoring the price. It does everything. If you can get those for like $20, like Patron 26, there's really nothing more you can really ask for with a Maduro with Nicaraguan tobacco from Padron. Or like this is it's quintessential.
Yeah.
So you can try to, but I think a lot of companies are just trying to like reinvent the wheel. Say, no, we're gonna do it like this, or we're gonna do it like that.
Yeah.
And I think those kind of cigars, everything will come and go. You
Yeah.
know,
Good point.
it's almost like they're trying to come out with new cigars, but also at the same time, the people, men, already know what they like. So it's kind of hard. So I think Padron's like, whoa, they like our cigars. Don't change it. You can say, oh, don't change. You can make it stronger, or you can make it a little weaker, but overall the profile ain't changing.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
there's so many options that if you can get one cigar and do every variation of it, and it's one cigar that people are going to want to continue to smoke, then you're good. You don't need to go have a bunch of blends. I mean, why bother?
I get it though. It's and you can't say it's a lazy approach as far as with Padron. It's not a lazy company, but it's kind of like picture like champagne. Like they figured it out and like brewed champagne. Like so you can be like, oh, I've seen like champagne with like, but with orange peel essence and this thing. Like, oh fuck all this bullshit. Like you want a dry fucking brewed champagne, get a bottle of Moet, and you're good. Like, what I'm saying, you know exactly what to expect, and that's not a bad thing. Like people say, Papa Chip. Like I've had some champagnes, like, oh, I don't know. We tried some, like we went off course and tried something different, but like I think you know, once something's a classic, you can't fuck with it.
Yeah, you sort of find what it's supposed to be, and once you find what it's supposed to be, you can take a few steps back and try to hit
Nobody
it.
wants to see Arnold in a love movie. Nobody wants to see. You know what I'm saying though? Like you know what I'm saying though? Like Arnold is doing action movies. You know, and that's it. And so so for Nicaraguan cigars, Drone has figured out to make not include the 1000 series because I'm talking about with high end. The 64 and up are more higher end Nicaraguan cigars, but they're not weak, you know, and they work. And then you factor in their construction and everything else. I mean, so it is what it is. We talked about the bands and everything on that, but they're not changing that. They're keeping it. They're not trying to.
But it's nice. You know, I think people once people have something they like, they'll want to come back to it. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but no other brand's doing that. Every other brand is, 'cause I guess it's a marketing team. But Joe doesn't have a marketing team. It's a family business. And they're like, this is the way my father did it, and this is the way I'm going to do it. And you know what I'm saying, though? We're like, um, yeah. Obviously, that's the difference. Like, even though Fuente's a family business, Fuente has a lot of marketing with their cigars. And look at even with the names like Sophisticated Hooker and all these crazy bands, which are really nice and interesting shapes and sizes and elaborate boxes. Padron's
Right.
not, it's
Yeah. Well, Fuente, I mean, you see like they're coming out with this cutter, this lighter, this humidor, you know, hat, everything. Like, it's like a full feature, full service type of. So, yeah, they're really actually kind of heavy into the marketing, I would say.
yeah, and they're covering a lot of bases. Like they have a profile for every. I mean, they have different blends, different profile. Wow, that car was just so loud, backfired. Um, like Padrone's not gonna do Cameroon. Padrone's not gonna do Connecticut broadleaf. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see them doing it. I don't see them be like, oh, we need to start doing some Honduran cigars. And I wouldn't mind it. I'm just saying, but in the near future, it seems like Padrone, it is what it is with Padrone. Like it's, you know,
For some reason, this cigar is starting to put me in physical pain.
why is
Like
that?
it's kind of Camacho gets to a point sometimes where it's like it's almost like a syrup. It's like a Camacho syrup, and it's always the same syrup, and it's starting to hurt me. I'm gonna retrohale this one more time, and then I'm gonna put it down. I'll pick up something else though.
What do you mean? You gonna put the cigar out? Well, I mean, I'm almost on my last third. Don't do that. You got to finish it, man.
I can't smoke this anymore.
It's stronger than the extreme.
It's not that it's strong. Well, first of all, I haven't been feeling that well, so I don't want to push it. Um, I can't gamble tonight. It's not giving me. I'm not getting a nicotine rush. It's not strong. It's just getting unpleasant.
Really, I didn't get that at all from this.
Remember remember the extreme? Remember we were like, "Oh, it's still not getting earthy." You know what I mean? We were right at the end and we were like, "This is fucking extreme, but it's still poised." You know what I mean? This is the wheel like the wheels have like fallen and the chassis like slumped to the ground.
To her, the sweetness is still there, though, right?
Yeah, it just it's got that it's got that Camacho. There's like a specific Camacho um that
Yeah,
syrup. You get it on the Corojo. You get it on the Nicaragua for sure.
yeah, but the profile on that, in my opinion, is way better. The Corojo is a very basic cigar.
Oh no, it's way better. But I'm saying all the Camacho cigars eventually you get down to this point. Yeah, I didn't dry box it, Uncle Larry, because I just found out what we were smoking, so I just pulled it out. So it's also it's I'm not saying it's the cigar's fault. Although that said, I do think that Camachos have this problem. Now I'm having this problem pretty early, but I would expect it to get like this
But
around there.
oh, you think that the cigar is maybe a little wet?
It's possible it's wet. Also, actually, this is now under the band because it smoked really well up to the band point. So maybe the band was holding in moisture as well.
Well, try dropping the ash then. Try not keeping the ash and see how that changes it.
All right, we'll try that.
He's gonna have nightmares. He
It's
did
it.
dry box it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think that cigar that is a little on the moist side, it really could mess up the experience.
yeah.
But I'm more on the drier side. I'm not sure as far as wet or dry. I don't know.
Well, it was burning absolutely perfectly up until after the band. So all the way up to the band, it was perfect. And now it's just kind of feeling a little wet. But that's what I'm saying is Camachos, in my experience, always have that situation where they become um, it's like syrupy, really, really strong, and to me, kind of unpleasant. It's still a good cigar.
That's interesting. I mean that's I don't know. That's your experience. So I mean I didn't have that, but that's interesting.
I think with dry boxing, it would have fixed it, but I think it would have just taken it down closer to the nub.
So for you, where are you going to rate it?
I think it would probably be a very good for me. Mm. Yeah, I'd probably put it around a 7.
Yes, for me, I had such a better experience. So I had a box for the experience. So that's your experience and your perception. You know,
I I
yeah,
actually do I do think if this is a flavor profile that's, like, usable for you or something that you prefer, this is very much not the profile I prefer, but I do think it's very re re very good. Like I said, it's a very good cigar. I would say that this is box worthy. So to me, 7 doesn't mean it's not box worthy.
No, no, I'm not saying. No, it's just interesting. Interesting that it's hitting you that hard. You know,
Again, it's not that
or I guess the word offensive is not the right word, but
right.
the end of it is not to your liking.
Well, and again, that's what I'm saying. The best thing I can explain is when we're smoking that extreme, all the way down that cigar, even though it was super intense and there was too much nicotine and like there was too much spice and everything, it never it never muddled. It never stopped being what it was. You know what I mean? And in my experience, and maybe it's just because I haven't dry boxed any Camachos enough, but I tend to dry box Camachos, right? But I still invariably, in the final third, it starts to merge into that strong syrup flavor.
Interesting. 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 Yeah, well, it's probably going to hit you harder later.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I feel like I could smoke another cigar. Like it's not the nicotine's not really hitting me that much.
But you got to give it a night and see how you feel, though. Like, I want to know how you feel tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Though, so that way, if you need another cigar, you don't know if you get fucked up. So
That's true.
I thought it was a good cigar in the Camacho lineup, which has been failing in the past few years. I think it was a good release
Yeah.
for them, and it was a solid cigar. Like, wow, I hope to keep making this cigar for a while. I'd like to try it in Robusto, and I'd like to try it in Corona, which I don't think is going to happen. You don't see Camacho making smaller cigars.
I would really like to see this in a petite lancero. That would be super interesting to me. Like 5 or 6 by 38. That'd be crazy.
Just a one stick night, fireman. Fireman. um, no, no. After this, I'm done. I had a, I really didn't have a good weekend. I mean, it was just, let's be honest. Like the chemo's really getting to her. She's in so much pain. Like she barely made it to food shopping today. She was in so much pain.
Yeah.
It's always pain and moaning, and her hair's falling out, and she tries to eat, but then she's throwing it up, and it's just she keeps on dropping weight because she's not able to hold her food in, and it's sad. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do for her. Like, there's literally nothing. All I
Yeah.
can do is keep the house clean. Like, who gives a shit? But I'm just saying, like I'm at the point where I've been going through this for so many months now that like there's nothing. It's almost hard. There's nothing you can do about it. Because if you just like, oh, like if you try to think you could do something, there's nothing. So you have to almost like let go and just be like, it's disturbing, you know. And I've been through it with my mother, but that was a different experience too. And that's a more sentimental experience because it's your mother. But when
Right.
it's the person you're with, the person you live with, it affects you in other areas. You know what I'm saying though?
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
you know,
And
so
it's tough when you're with somebody that you're so used to taking care of and being interconnected with in that way, and then that feeling of helplessness. I can see how that would be really, really difficult. And sorry about that.
it's just it's a different level of responsibility too. Because when it was my mother, when you really think about it, you're the kid, right? Even though I was
Right.
20 years old, but it's really like at the end of the day, it's really like my mother was dying of cancer. It was my father's problem. If you really think about it, 'cause that's his
Right.
wife.
Right.
Like as the child, like as a child, but still, I'm my mother's child. It's a different kind of experience. It affects you. It affects you more. Oh no, is my mother going to be here and watch my kids grow up and everything
Mm.
else? And all, my birthdays, my holidays, just your mother cooking for you, those memories. When it's your spouse, when it's your woman, it's a different it's like saying that it affects other areas. Your relationship, it affects clapping cheeks, which obviously unless you're like in deep south, it's not going to be if your mother's sick, you're like, oh no, I'm not going to like it's what I'm saying. No, so it's like
Sure.
so it's a different. In some ways, it's worse, but in some ways, it's all bad. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like
Yeah.
it's it's fucked up either way how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can never. It's your mother. You only have one mother. You know what I'm saying though. So it's just shitty though, man. It's shitty all across the board. Like I don't recommend cancer for anyone. Like if people are like, oh, no, what I really want to try out? I really want to try out cancer. That sounds great. Like yeah, no, it's not. Like it's not.
Something I've often observed is often now, hopefully, the situation you're going through now will resolve and she'll recover. So I'm not saying that, but in
Well, first,
serious,
long far away. It's only the second level of chemo, and we've already been through four fucking surgeries and like four biopsies. So it's been so much stuff that we still have four more chemos, and then we have 25 fucking radiations.
mhm,
Dude, I'm gonna be doing this for like the next like 6 months, and it doesn't get better.
mhm,
Like someone that's suffering, it's like as they continue to suffer, it's not like they get resilient. They're like, oh yeah, like no, it's drained. And then for the other person, it's like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like
yeah,
almost like battle fatigue. Like you get tired of it. Like, oh my God, like when is this gonna end? And
right,
there's really no end to it. It's not like even like let's say a year from now, it's like, oh, we beat it. Like I did that with my mom. Like my mom beat cancer, and then like 5 years later, it's like dead. So it's like there's no like even if you beat it, whatever. There's no beating it. Like you know what I'm saying? No,
yeah,
I hate to say it, it's really not. You
yeah,
know, the damage is done, and then you can have a couple of good years after you get cancer, and then it's almost naive to think that it's not going to come back. Like you know what I'm saying? Though, like it's because I did that already. Like like
yeah,
my mom, when she got sick the second time. In my mind, I'm like, hey, but you already beat it. like
yeah,
like cancer's like that's what you thought. And then the second time it wasn't even the same. The second time was worse. Like the first time it was like a bad year and she beat it. And the second time was like, you got 2 months and you're dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like it's depression talk. I don't know nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody cares.
yeah.
I'm just saying though.
Well, I just wanted to note it doesn't.
But
We've
all
kind
I'm
of
saying is people say that's why like when I hear people say, oh, you smoke cigars? My mother didn't smoke cigars. She didn't smoke cigars. Maybe you should start smoking fucking cigars. I'll be dead serious. I'm being dead serious. My mother
sure,
smoked cigars. She died of cancer. She didn't smoke cigars. I don't have cancer and I smoke cigars. I mean, all I can say is like, I don't know. Maybe there's something to it.
it, look, for our sake, I hope so. But um, I was going to say when it comes to other serious medical situations, often it comes down to the relationship. In my opinion, in my view, in terms of what I've seen. Oh, is that a kombucha?
No, it's just a Coors beer.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Um,
Yeah, it's kombucha.
um, often it comes down to
I
the
don't drink my one drink of the week, so that was it. So
uh, it comes down to the relationship of the person who is kind of responsible in the situation. So again, when it's your mother, it's not you. Or I remember when my grandpa was dying, uh, I would say mistakes were made, and it wasn't anybody immediate to me, but it was people. It was a person, whatever. It was a situation where um, it wasn't my choice, and what happened wasn't what I would have done. Um,
it was
but
just you, the audience, in a sense.
what you say? Yeah, exactly. Right,
But when it's the person you live with, it's like you know, you still have
right,
to pay rent together, food shop together, and clean the house and cook
right.
together. Like it's a different. Like you know, what I'm saying no. Like when my mother with cancer, like my mother still had her own bedroom with my father. Like in this case, it's the person I live with. So when she's in pain and crying all night, misery, I'm in bed, like I can't be like, listen, bitch, I'm trying to sleep. I
Yeah,
got the
you're
tomorrow.
you're
Like,
the you're the guy. Yeah, other
like,
part of the.
like, I'm interviewing PG tomorrow. Could you shut the fuck up? Like I can't, that's my sixth sense of humor. But obviously, I don't
I
say.
I understand. No, I understand. We're not. There would be no.
That was like the cruelest thing.
or feeling that under any circumstance. But yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
So what I'm saying is, it's like you just got to sit there and watch like the person like get destroyed.
yeah.
It's kind of terrible.
I have no idea I mean, nothing can be said. So you know,
Yeah, it's nothing. Like there's some people in my job and they're like, "Wow, anything I could do for you?" Really? Yeah. Okay. Okay. How about you build a time machine, or how about you? I don't know. You go to the big pharma companies like, listen, could you just give us the cure for one person? We know you got it. And they're like, this is $1 trillion industry. There's no cures. There's too much money to be made. How about the air? How about the water being toxic and everything else and the food we eat? It's like, yeah, well, it's a big business. So here's what it is. I just can't smoke your best shit. I mean, there's things you can do. Obviously, limit your alcohol, drink filtered water, eat fruits, exercise. You know, things you could do. Wear jimmies. You know what I'm saying? These are things you could do to like, you know, hopefully slide by. But you know, there are people that lived totally non-dangerous lives, and it still gets them. So there's no rhyme or reason to it.
yeah. And I think in terms of you're dealing something with something that's difficult, and it's difficult for any animal at any level, right? It's not a unique experience in the sense that it's not a problem for now. I mean, it's always been a problem. It's something that would always be difficult, and it possibly will always be difficult in the future. So it's like an elemental problem, you know.
Yeah,
No,
and other factors too, like when you see someone suffering and pain, you're like, well, where's your friends? How come your friends don't help out more? How come your family doesn't help out more? And then you start looking at people like, you guys are fucking phony. Like, you know what I'm saying? Though I don't want to go too deep into it, but like her father came to town when she had the surgery. Was here for 1 day, but he was in town for like 10 days. He went like skiing and like backpacking at a day. Like it's like, why didn't you come for 10 days before your daughter had the surgery, and
right?
just take her out to expensive restaurants and just I don't know, treat her.
Yeah,
So
get her mood up. Yeah,
no, no,
take
he came for the night before the surgery for 1 hour to have dinner. Um, Literally 1 hour. Didn't even walk her to the car. And he's like, "All right, see you later." I'm like, and then every time I bring this shit up to her, and she's just like, oh, she gets mad at me, and I'm like, "The fuck is wrong with your family? What kind of family is that?" Like, if I like when AP and like Dream Life, like we smoked cigars for like 3 hours together. Like when we were done, like I walked both of them like to the car. Like, see you later, guys. Like I'm not like, oh yeah, have a good one.
yeah,
Like someone's like dying of cancer, and it's just like, well, I'll see you tomorrow at the hospital. Like it's like you know, it's just I don't know. So these are the things you'll see. You'll see like not saying I hope you don't see what I'm saying, but in life, like if you or someone you care about gets sick, you're going to see some realities you're not going to want to see. You're
yeah,
going to you're going to see through the people you thought were your friends or family. They're not.
yeah,
They're like they're not. You're going to have some construction issues. Not reliable. Like what I'm saying. Like in theory, what's going on? Like she's in chemo from cancer, dying. I think her father called her every day, call her once a week.
yeah.
Like he texted her when she had her first chemo. Oh, good luck. That was it. Not even a phone call. Like, like, like.
Yeah, it's a I guess you find out who's who in situations like that, right? Like you said, I mean, you're testing the construction, right? I guess that's the other thing. If a cigar is wet and it still burns, it's good construction, right? So
Yeah, no,
that's the pressure test.
I think man and woman, if everything is healthy in a sense, they could produce children. It but it's a choice to be a parent. Not every people that have kids are parents. Is that, you know what I'm saying though? And that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of weird to make that choice, but then not really be. But look, you can't. It's not for me to judge. I mean, maybe it's for you to judge, but maybe not. And even your girl, maybe it's for her to judge. Maybe it's not. But it's just like, how can you really say? But I think what is true is you get to see what the outcome is, right? You see
I
it.
can fucking judge. My mother was sick of cancer. The church, the family, the friends, the neighbors. There was so many people over my house. You would think that it was a UN fucking meeting. You had to park down the street. I mean, dead serious. Okay, fucking people would fight over. I'm cooking for the family this week, and they literally come to the house, fill up the fridge every night, cooking fresh meals. And other people say, "Oh, fine, but I'll put stuff in the freezer. Oh, I made 5 different trays of food. I'll come back next week and I'll take home the trays. I'll replace them with new." I mean, like when my mother was sick, my father didn't have to cook. And people were coming over just to clean the house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like that's what like community does, family and friends. And like I said, and our church we went to, like people just helped out because when someone's in need, not that we would need for money, because my father made money, but there was other needs like just helping, care, and concern. Being compassionate. And um, you know what I'm saying though. And I think people, I don't know. So then you get like people like from her side, like it's like hopes and prayers. Oh yeah, we'll pray for you. But the godly thing would do would be come over and show your hope and prayer, and it's like let's go faith without works. So if your faith there's no works, it's dead. So people, if you say you love me, you prove it. Like if someone's sick, you come over and help out, or just spend time with them. You know what I'm saying, though? Or I don't know. That's the way I was raised. So when I see this, it's I don't know. That's not the way I was raised, man.
Yeah, I can see for a guy like you and knowing you a bit, uh, how unbelievably foreign that type of behavior would be. And it's interesting, and I think that would be a bit foreign to me as well, even though I don't experience that level of community. I would still be surprised with that level of, frankly, like indifference almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying though, like it's I don't
But
know.
in that sense, you're kind of the audience to that relationship. You see what I mean? Whereas you're not the audience overall, but you're the audience to that part.
Yeah, yeah. Well, those people and her friends and her family, I don't consider them my friends or family at all. I don't. I don't like them. It is what it is.
Sure. I mean, I can totally see that would be what you're finding out in the situation, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's yeah, yeah. It is what it is. What'd you line up?
Just a Sancho Panza, just a one of the old ones. I have a bunch of these.
Yeah.
Oh, and frankly, they're not very good. If I'm being honest. Um,
The newer Sancho Panzas are much better, bro.
yeah, yeah. So I bought a box of these for like $30. It was super cheap.
They're a good knockaround cigar.
So I figure I'll try it in a situation where it's not critical. I could put it out when you're done. They burn fast.
No, I don't have much time left, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That's
but yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent talking about all that shit, but
no, it's good. I mean, that's what's concerning you. I think that's important, and I think you're having a really interesting. It's kind of an eye-opening experience, right? To see that level of indifference, and
yeah.
it's amazing. Um, but again, it's not that part. You're the audience, right?
Yeah, in this case, literally nobody cares on her side. because that makes more sense that they don't care. Because if they do care, that's even worse. Like, what? So you care, but you do nothing about it.
Right.
Like, the house is on fire, you wouldn't go inside to get your kid or your dog, or at least try. You're like, well, that's too bad. You know, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Insane. I understand how they could not care, but again, I don't know the situation. You might not know the whole situation, or maybe you do, but maybe nobody knows the whole situation.
well, what's the situation, man? Time. Your family can just spend time together. And if you can't spend physical time, you call them. We have a device called a phone.
Right.
Saying though, like, yeah, I mean, you also have a thing called mail. Like, you think her father would be just like sending gifts to her, like whatever, even if it's like a fruit basket or whatever the fuck, like Omaha steak, something like, hey,
If
whatever.
if if my kid was ill, and I don't mean to, hopefully she'll recover. It's no problem, but nothing is guaranteed. I would want to make. I would. Oops, sorry. I would. I would. What you say?
Even if the person's guaranteed not to die, but they're still going through a serious illness like this, whereas all these surgeries and then going through chemo, you're like, well, they're not going to die, so you wouldn't go and visit your kid. You wouldn't spend time with them.
Right. And especially if it's not guaranteed. I mean, I would probably move. You know what I mean? I'd move next door and just try to be around as much as possible, every possible minute. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
their father's retired. You know what I'm saying? Though, like, and then like I said, when he came to town for like 10 days, you're out backpacking and kayaking, and then when he was there, I asked him, I was like, oh yeah. I was talking to him. He's like, "Oh, you want kayaking?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "How long have you been in Colorado?" "Oh, I've been here 2 weeks, like 10 days." And I'm like sitting there like, "Oh, you've been here 10 days." He said, "When'd you get in?" "Oh, I got in last Tuesday." And I'm like,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
and I'm just sitting there like he didn't even understand what I was saying. I was like, "Wow, wow."
I also want to say, I just want to say, sorry to say something so mundane in such an important conversation, but um, I don't want to say these are just like purely bad. The ones that I smoked were really fresh when I smoked them. I hadn't let them rest much, so I think that was giving a problem. So I wanted to see how they would develop with some time. This one's finally have us a little time on it. Anyway,
Oh,
continue.
it's a cheap cigar. The original Sancho Panzas. The newer ones, I'm telling you, is a higher tier cigar. The new Sancho Panzas are Richie certified in any of them. I don't care if it's the Connecticut. The Maduro was great. The Extra Forte was good, but the Maduro was the best one. Uh, so, but I can recommend them. They're a hell of a lot better than the original blends. Like they really not only put better bands and better boxing, they put better tobacco, which is the most important thing.
Yeah,
But
I really
it,
like this.
it's good.
Well, yeah, I like this size though. It's like a 6 1/4 by 45 box press. It's like a nice size. So, and honestly, this one so far is pretty good. So all good. Anyway,
Yeah, so maybe it's something you let it age for a couple of years. Who knows?
honestly, not bad at all.
Yeah,
Not bad at all. That's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, we're just whatever. And that's another situation I'm not about because when I talk about those things to her, it just gets her more mad because it just exposes the truth of it. Because I'll be like, because I'll just say like shit that maybe I'm a little pissed off, and I'll be like, I was like, when's the last time your father called you?
Right.
Oh, he texted me like last month. He texted you?
But I mean, she's already go. Think about how. I mean, what an unbelievably tragic situation from her point of view, right? Like, I really feel like that's kind of unacceptable behavior from the way I was raised. Like, how could you be so indifferent? So,
What do you say? I was raised, right? How could anyone was raised? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, like guys in the community here, like really nobody really knows anyone here. No one's really. I mean, I met AP and Dream Life, but I'm just saying, like, really, no one there knows anyone. And even in our private chat, like if someone's going through something or whatever, like when Dream Life, when his daughter got to an accident, like, I called him. He was talking on the phone, fucking out. When Anthony P with his friend who passed, I called him and talked on the phone, like and like right away, like
right,
like I've never like heard her on the phone with her father
right.
ever. He doesn't call her. and that's just your daughter, and then she's sick, and you don't call her. Like, what could you be doing that you're so busy? Like, and then from what I've heard from her, that's just the way he always was. So like, I can imagine growing up with a dad like that, where like, like that's a piece of shit father, in my opinion. Like, he's just indifferent. Like, man, like,
It, it seems terrible. I mean,
but it's the truth.
no, no, no. I'm not saying you're not being truthful. I just it's sad, really. You know.
Yeah, but that's just the way. Yeah. In the 3 times I met him in Colorado, all 3 times he was here for like a week or two, but only had an hour to visit his 2 kids here. And he met at the restaurant. And I'll see you later. I gotta go. We got plans. Like, that's it. Like, you haven't seen your dad in a year, and you're gonna spend 1 hour. Like, I mean, at least he picked up the check. I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, I don't know, man. Some people are just pieces of shit, man. People, well, you wouldn't treat an animal like that. You wouldn't treat an animal like that.
You know, maybe if I knew the guy, I could guess, but I can't guess what could compel him to act in such a way. So,
Uh, but it's his loss. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's his loss.
Ooh, he seems like he's robbing himself of closeness. I don't know why, and what's he doing to her? But
It makes sense though, because there's another brother that they haven't seen like in 15 years. Like, right after high school, like he joined like a religious cult and like moved away and like never came back. And I kind of almost understand that, because at least he has community there. At least he has family that cares about him. Maybe they're all wearing like robes and like sitting there like around some statue, and they're like, like in a cult. But you know, that cult actually they all give them jobs. The entire cult, they own a company, and everyone gets a job at the company, and everyone gets a house in the same community, and they all live together. So
if
picture
if, if
like
you're lacking community, you'd probably want to go there. You know what I mean? If you're missing community, I mean that's 100% community.
yeah, you can't have any friends or outsiders come in without, because the mother and her went there one time to visit, but like the cult leader had to be in the house while they were in there to make sure they weren't trying to convince them to leave.
Wow,
But honestly, like when I look at it, I'm like, they're giving you employment. Are they giving you a bank loan to move into a house? It could be worse.
for sure. Yeah, especially from coming from that. Sorry, give me just 1 second.
Yeah, it could be worse. I don't know. It could be worse. So the classic Melanio V, it is a great cigar, but the profile, I don't know what I like about it. The Melanio V Maduro, I know what I like about it. Very easy to love. The classic Melanio V, it is a higher end mid tier cigar, um, and it's a pretty strong cigar with a lot of good flavor. But I don't know what I like about the classic one. I have a lot of history with it, and you cannot buy them for that price. So to get like 5 packs for like $25 or $20, it gets stupid to get a high quality, high end mid tier cigar for $4, $3. But I won't buy them at full price in a lounge. Um, so that's what you gotta know about it. Like but I would pay, you know,
Yeah,
full
like
13,
um,
$14 for the Milano V Maduro at a lounge, because
okay.
you're really not going to get the the V Maduro or the Melanio V Maduro for a good price. But Seabid though had that six pack, and two, it had three different Melanio V Maduros. It had the Lancero, Torpedo, and the Perfecto, and the other ones were the natural, the Melanio V. But for like $40, that was a stupid price. Just to get
Cigar
three
cigar
Melanio.
page,
What?
Cbid or cigar page?
What'd you say?
Cbid or cigar page?
Cigar page.
Gotcha.
So normally they're $60, but sometimes they're on sale for $40.
Yeah,
You get three of each: Lancero, a Perfecto, and like a torpedo, like a Churchill torpedo or something like that. Oh, Churchill, and you get them in natural and Maduro of the Melanio V.
yeah,
To get all six of those for $40 shipped,
yeah,
worth it just for the Maduros. Because you're talking about what would it cost you, like 12, $13 a piece. So I
yeah.
mean, and then you're getting the three natural versions for free. How you want to look at it. So, but you're never gonna see like the Melanio v Maduros like really super discount. It's hard to. I mean, you can sometimes. Maybe see a box of 10 for like $80. That's not bad. But
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to say I realize my score 7 seems low for the broadleaf. For me, for what I look for in cigars, it's very much like a kind of a fancy new school cigar, has a lot of interesting flavors, which is just really not what I look for. But I can say it's a really good cigar, like I said, and 7 to me is very good. So above 7, I mean, there's only a few cigars I would put at an 8. Um, I could count it on one hand probably. So I think 7 is a really strong score for that. I would say the triple Maduros for me is probably also around it, but I think it's better, and I think it's box worthy, at least for a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you enjoyed it. For me, I fucking loved it, but I love the profile.
Yeah,
You know, um,
but yeah, I think it's really good. I was really really impressed, and I think well, it did two things for me. But I think it showed me how good of a job Camacho is doing.
yeah,
On the other hand, I felt like, is this all that Camacho can do? Because I started to feel like I'm starting to see similarities in the brand, and overall, there's no cigar in the brand that I would absolutely need to smoke. Um, yeah,
well, Camacho's not a brand that I live or die by, but I was just happy of the price point and the quality of the cigar, and I thought it fit well in the lineup of like refreshing the brand
yeah,
and the simple. So the marketing on it, I thought was well. The price point was well. I was glad it wasn't gouged. So for me, like, that's what I loved about it. Because they don't make the barrel age anymore. The Nicaragua or what was the other one? The American.
American American Barrel. Yeah,
I like those cigars. They don't make them no more.
I just want to say I totally agree with you. Every point you made, totally agree. Um, and also you can see I gave the red dot like a 6.5. So to me, it's better than the red dot, and the red dot's a good cigar. So you kind of get an idea. My rating system is kind of deflated.
Yeah, and that's your preference too, and I respect it. The red dot to me is more usable than the broadleaf. I can smoke the red dot more, where I think I get burnt out smoking that broadleaf like over and over again. But I
Yeah,
have broadleaf in my lineup. You know what I'm saying? Though I think like once a month, it'd be like a once a month kind of stick. Like on
yeah,
this, because it's a very specific profile. Like if you want tons of sticky caramel with black pepper and tons of sticky caramel and black pepper and sea
yeah.
salt and more caramel. And did I mention it has caramel? You're gonna love that. But like,
Richie, I think if you micropuff more, you might be able to pick up the cigar head notes of caramel. Um, I picked that up. So I would say also that's kind of a safe bet that there's probably caramel in there.
yeah,
Yeah, basically you're right.
yeah. What's that flavor? It's not hot chocolate sauce. It's caramel. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me. I just smoked a cigar like that, a Camacho broadleaf. Tons of that. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I heard that cigar was pretty sweet, like sticky notes, like syrupy,
Hmm.
but like caramel.
Yes, definitely. That's right on, actually.
I just feel like when they made that blend, they're like, I hope people like caramel. Like I would, I would have named that cigar the caramel. Like, you listen,
Well, they made it a caramel colored band. I think I have the band on me.
mhm.
Where'd I put it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you're grabbing your junk.
I don't know where. No, no, no. I'm trying to find the band, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Fell out of my pocket.
Yeah,
It's 100%. I mean, they're
looks
not.
like it. Literally looks like caramel.
Yeah.
You know
No.
what they just made? I was at the store today. Now they got Reese's Buttercups with caramel, and I was like, that's what diabetic people need, because Reese's Buttercups were not unhealthy enough.
Hmm.
You need them covered in caramel,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, dude, I see they had a Reese. Like, so then they have like what's called a big cup. You just get one cup, but the cup is like the size of like a bowl, you know,
That's enough.
and then but then now they have them literally. I seen one. It was a big cup, and it said chips. It had potato chips in it. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes! Like we are. Listen, the Antichrist is coming soon. This is the end of time. People are not like, yeah, oh, Reese's big cups now with potato chips. Wow, wow. Oh, is there caramel in those? Caramel flavored potato chips. Wow. And I just love how like they say like a society's doing like when you have a healthcare that's not concerned about food, when you have food that's not concerned about your health. Like so it's like you think you should be eating this? Yeah, and you know what you should drink with it? Like caramel like chocolate milk. There you go.
Disgusting. Ah, dude, the Camacho broadleaf would be terrible with that. I would be curious. I would be curious what the Camacho broadleaf would be like with some coffee. Could be very nice.
Yeah.
Uh, could be nice with a
I would
with a
pair it with a dark espresso coffee. No syrup, no sugar, because
yeah.
to balance it out. Because that cigar is too sweet. Normally, like a cigar that has no sweetness, you need to have something sweet with it. That cigar doesn't need any sweet. Like that's.
Yeah.
I think that cigar. You should check your. What's it called? The A1C. You might be pre-diabetic after that cigar.
Well, I didn't smoke it to the nub, so hopefully I'll be okay. I could feel the diabetes coming on. That's why I had to put it down.
Yeah, no, it's
It was sweet to the end. I mean, it's a very sweet cigar. It's a good cigar. I'm always very impressed by it, but um
yeah, but I would say the cigar. It's predominantly notes of caramel. You know.
absolutely. But again, when you have something that's so caramel forward, I don't know why I keep saying that. Caramel forward, I really would be curious what you could pair it with because I think it's so distinct in what it's doing.
I
They're
think I've already given you the answer. You get the Reese's Buttercups with caramel.
that's Glock.
Right. Yeah. Like they even have like M&Ms with like caramel in it. You're like, all right, like what at what point like they should just name a candy bar like called it doesn't matter or like you don't care. You don't
Yeah,
care. Like, all right, why don't you try this? You know, like it's like
yeah, like bars.
yeah, I'm waiting for like Taco Bell to have like tacos like oh the new all new caramel burrito. And you're like, yeah. Like instead of sour cream, it's caramel. Oh holy shit.
They did
Well,
it,
fuck
but
me twice on a Saturday. He's sitting there like, I'll take two of those. He's like, oh.
you see, I mean, I didn't realize this, but it seems like people get like the Baja Blast a lot at Taco Bell, which is just it's just syrup. Unbelievable.
You know how bad those Mountain Dew Baja Blasts are for you? Like, just look up the health facts. There's nothing healthy about it. But do you know how bad Mountain Dew is of all the sodas? It's like regular soda, like sodas, and we're not even gonna get to diet with the chemicals. I'm talking about just regular sodas. Mountain Dew is the most dangerous shit. The chemicals in Mountain Dew is the same chemicals they use fire retardant, like in those Nomex suits they use for driving race cars, or when you I don't know if you know this under your aluminum siding, this is a white like Tyvek kind of paper. It's not paper, but it's a roll, and they put it over the wood, and then they put the aluminum siding. That's a fire retardant to slow down fire, right? You know, to give the fire more time to get there. That chemical that's in that material is in Mountain Dew because it's a preservative, right? There you go, baby. What do you think that's doing to you besides the 100 grams of sugar and everything else that's in it and all the dyes? Do you look at the color of Mountain Dew? Do you really think you think anything natural looks like Baja Blast? You know what looks like Baja Blast? Like when I buy like liquid plumber or something like that, it looks like the same color. Like 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 nothing looks like Baja Blast.
I think tropical water sometimes does, but that said, I think, God forbid,
Yeah,
you
the all new Mountain Dysentery. Yeah, it's got nice.
God forbid, in a situation where you're caught in a burning building or something explodes.
Cover yourself in Mountain Dew.
Well, perhaps if you've been drinking enough Mountain Dew, you'll be more fire resistant.
This is true, but you're not gonna be able to move because you're so fat and diabetic. So maybe it does. It's not worth the. Yeah,
Juices
yeah,
juice used very loosely here.
yeah.
Um, I'll say this cigar is actually going really well after the Camacho broadleaf because again it's Honduran, and it's giving me that same
That,
terroir.
is that sweet of the caramel hanging over or no?
Yeah, I mean I don't remember this cigar being this sweet, but I'm definitely getting sweetness now.
Is
Uh,
because that last cigar? Yeah.
it's nice, dude.
What if that caramel broadleaf? You smoke that and then you eat some chocha, you know? And then you're like, wow, did you take a bath in caramel, honey? You're like, eh.
I thought you were gonna say smoke a. All right, yeah.
So the problem is though, that Gio's gonna smoke that and try to eat ass. That's it.
Eh, it's gonna taste just as good to him as normal, dude.
Yeah. Baja Blast. Yeah, yeah. That's what your intestines need. Like like
Yeah,
dude,
it's like a
I
pipe cleaner.
and he's like, oh, me and my friends, like we mix. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we'll mix like Mountain Dew and like Coke, or like we'll mix like Monster and Red Bull. And I'm like, you guys are trying to die? Like, how do you say you're trying to die without? Like, this guy's not in good health. And then like all throughout working with this guy, I won't say his name, but he talked about how like he has health problems, and like he's way younger than me, and he does not look healthy. Like his skin looks like he's like dying from the inside, you know. And like every morning, he would start off the morning with like a Mountain Dew or Coca Cola, drink like 5 or 6 sodas a day, and like never seen him drink water. But then like and he's like, yeah, my doctors are saying there's a problem with like my kidneys and liver, but they can't figure it out. And I'm like, I want to tell him like I got to figure it out. Yeah, I know what the problem is. You're mixing Red Bull and Coca Cola or Red or Mountain Dew and like Monster and like yeah, like Monster Mountain. There you go. That's you need Mountain Monster. There you go. I think your liver will be like, oh my god, is he committing suicide? No, he's at Taco Bell.
That's a good ad.
Yeah, dude, look. Let me give you a health tip. Don't eat fast food. But if you end up there for some reason because you have no choice,
Yeah.
get it with water. The person in the window be like, they're like, welcome to Taco Bell. Yeah, I'll take 2 burritos, please, and a quesadilla. Okay, what kind of Baja Blast you want? Yeah, I'll take water. And they're like they always pause. Like what? Water. It's clear. It's clear. It's a clear. Like water. Like and get the bottle because even the water it's going to come from the same water fountain. It's going to have Baja Blast in it. It's and they don't clean all those soda machines. They don't. They have larvae from worms and fruit flies. I mean that's serious. And there's bacteria because they don't clean. I'm telling you. So like because people like that work there will drink out of the cup and just refill it and then their mouth bacteria. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. Don't ever drink fountain drinks and don't even like at a bar, get a bottle. I don't recommend drinking a lot of beer, but get a bottle because the taps they don't clean that shit out. I can't stress it enough. Any kind of community group shit like that, like tap beer or tap sodas, it's gonna be even worse than drinking a bottle. I can't stress it enough. Really think about it, okay? Can't stress it enough.
Chewy says you have to go to the mountains to find Baja Blast. That's funny.
Wow,
You,
I didn't know that.
Baja Blast and beefy 5 layer burrito. I remember I had a beefy cheesy burrito from Taco Bell once. I was so sick, dude.
Yeah, dude. When I was in New York, like somebody died from Taco Bell because their tomatoes had salmonella. They were so filthy because cross contamination.
Yeah,
Taco Bell got shut down. They never opened up again. And I'm like, "Nah." And you know, people probably like, man, there's only one guy that died. But that was, you know, he was having Taco Bell every day. You know,
that's true. Yeah, he wasn't working with the strongest system. It's amazing that I mean, it's not even that much cheaper. You know what I mean? You can get good food for not so expensive, but
dude. I'll be at 7-Eleven, right? And let's say you're playing like a scratch off. They'll have these Uber drivers come in and and people are like they and I talk to these guys, I'm like, what do people order? It's like, well, they order like a lot of Mountain Dew and like gummy bears and like Reese's Pieces. And they pay for the deliveries. Like, oh yeah, you'd be surprised, man. There's a whole secondary market of people so fat and lazy. They have to get Mountain Dew, Monster Energy. They don't have any energy, but uh, and they have to get that shit. They actually get like Reese's Buttercups and a Monster Energy drink delivered to your house. Oh, my food is here. There's no food in the food. There's no food. That's not food. You know.
yeah, it's like chemicals keeping you alert, keeping you awake.
I
You know what
think
I
I
mean?
read somewhere that literally was something like when you go like to this like let's say a convenience store or like most of the stuff that's at the store like 80 years ago didn't even exist. Like it's just not food. Like you think you're getting those what do they call those five like what's those puffs those with the tiger guy, you know?
Oh, Cheeto puffs?
Those but the Cheeto hot. Some guy died because that's all he ate was Cheeto hot puffs and he died from it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's you know what kind of dyes are in that? Like you know, you see people eating them and their hands are like I see a guy eating them at work and their hands are like stained red. You know, like what do you think it's doing to your insides?
Chewy said you could buy a decent, healthy meal instead of a $20 to $30 fast food meal. Is that how much fast food is these days? That's
Oh,
insane.
dude, people spend money, man.
That's insane.
You people spend $20 easy at McDonald's now for one person. It's disgusting. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, they got to get like you know like a 20-piece chicken nugget, a Big Mac meal, and a McRib and a McFlurry. You know, with like an extra large fucking Diet Coke and a couple of barbecue sauces. You know, so you know,
It's like it's almost like all candy. You know what I mean? It's all like invented
yeah.
items, or just
And
like,
instead of like your per total, your price, they should give you a calorie total, and like you pay by the calorie. You know what I'm saying though? It's like, all right, sir, that's 3,250 calories, 200 grams of sugar, because you know even like the barbecue sauce and even the bread at McDonald's is all coated. You know, like you know in a Subway, they have to reclassify in England Subway the bread as cake because there's so much sugar in Subway bread.
that's
They
crazy.
can't call it bread legally. It's defined as cake.
That's disgusting.
Oh yeah, baby. It's like
You lose the flavor of the items too. Like I remember I bought a loaf of bread and it had sugar in it. I hadn't read the not the instructions, but the ingredients. I didn't read the ingredients, and it had sugar in it. And I'm tasting the bread, and it's like it doesn't taste like bread. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's no longer the thing that it's supposed to be. It's just like another sugared item in a different shape.
yeah, yeah. No, it's the problem with sugar in this modern day world, especially in America, Canada, you know, England, um, is epidemic, and it's big business because also the powers that be. It's a lot easier to control your population when half your people are diabetic, and the other half like pre-diabetic. They can't move. You're not going to exercise. You're not going to be strong. You know what I'm saying though? Like you know, America's a strange place though because of the Second Amendment. You're gonna have a bunch of like diabetic guys like in wheelchairs, but like with like Glocks and AK-47s. So they'll probably have like ATVs and like like they'll have like they got like an F-150. So at least they can be mobilized. But so but
It's
in
like
other like
yeah.
England, you can't even have a knife. You got people that are diabetic at 500 pounds, and you're gonna do whatever you're told. You're like, well, as long as I can get my nuggets and it's,
Yeah.
like you go to Subway, it's like, did you want cookies with that? Yeah, that's what you need. You need a 2 liter of Coke or a 2 liter of lemonade, right? The lemonade's got more sugar, and then you need like six fucking cookies with your foot long. That's what you need. Like that's what you need. You know,
What's
that's what you
eh,
need.
there's also there's like a big culture of working out in America though, where I don't think like in England you see a lot of like full grown adult men and their frame is like totally thin because they don't work out. It's like really different. And like a lot of English clothes fit differently because people don't work out as much. Like there's a lot of like working out in America is like normal. I don't know if that's good or bad actually. Like maybe it's not even a benefit, but
Well,
um
no, I mean, America's a lot more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Though, a lot more aggressive and scrappy. And, you know, America's a very violent place. But that's a whole nother topic, though. But I feel in areas with less morality, the violence becomes more of a problem. You know what I'm saying? Though. Also, I feel it's also volume. You have, let's say, in inner cities, you have more volume of people that are closer to each other. There's more chance of things, happening. Whereas, like, if you're like in the country, those people have a lot of guns, but no one's really getting shot because maybe they're just drinking on their back porch. You know what I'm saying? Though, so it's kind of like you'd have to almost look for trouble. But like, if you're like in New York or Chicago, like everyone's on top of each other. There's no room. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? No, and then you're having a bad day and whatever. So I think that's like I said, change the size, change the blend. I think you already have strong tobacco, and you make it a smaller gauge. It's going to be a lot more intense. You know?
True enough.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't live like in a 60 gauge community, but I'd say my community is like a 54. We have enough space. You know what I'm saying? Though it quiets down the blend. You know,
54 is very comfortable. That's very
yeah,
comfortable.
if you're in New York City, it's like a pequeño. It's like an extreme pequeño.
Yeah.
There's literally no fucking room. Like you're on top of each other. Like whenever I go back to New York, just being even land in New York City, I was like, you gotta get me out of here. I feel like claustrophobic. Like, I gotta get the fuck out.
It's like a nympha, dude, like 33 gauge.
Yeah, there's just no room, and there's just too many variables. Even Long Island feels crushed because there's so many people for a suburb. Like Suffolk County's got like yeah, like literally, I mean Suffolk County. When you think about it, like Suffolk County has more people than the whole city of Denver and all the suburbs. Like what I'm saying though. So it's like that's a big difference. Like there's a lot of people in Long Island. Like like Nassau and Suffolk. I'm not sure how many combined because also they can't count illegal immigrants because they don't know how many are in there. But
Right.
like Nassau and Suffolk County's got a couple million people, and like Colorado's got like 5 million people for a whole state. But like it's really spread out. And once you get probably 20 minutes outside the city of Denver in the suburbs, it's really spaced out. Like it's really, and the people here are just less aggressive.
That's
It's
nice.
it's well, the problem is too. Those like in New York, like people are used to altercation, good or bad. So you could be like, you could start a conversation with the mailman, you could start a conversation with the policeman, you could start a conversation with anyone, and you can talk for 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, but not out here. Those conversations out here, like I'll try to start a conversation with somebody, and then most of the time they get like surprised, like almost you could, it's like John Cena, you could see me, like saying like oh shit, like you know, and like this guy, I was walking to a store. This guy was coming out of the liquor store and he had a bottle of vodka. And I was like, "Gonna be a good night tonight, huh?" Like he looked at me, like he's like, and then he got in the car and he drove away. He's like, "Oh shit!" Like he saw me. He fucking saw me. you know, like that
That's
would fly in New York. You'd be like, "This guy's up to no good." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. Like in New York, the guy'd be like, "Yeah, what can I do? My in-laws are over, and I hate my fucking mother-in-law." You're like, yeah, yeah, whatever. You know, saying though, you know,
Sure, sure.
you know,
Yeah. No, it's a give and take for sure.
yeah. But at the same time, though, like where I'm at 40 years old, like I don't know. I kind of like the space here and the quietness,
Mhm.
but it is what it is. I think I'm gonna bounce, man. I think I'm gonna go to bed. Sorry to cut you off,
No worries.
but hey, man, it was a good live. I'm glad you enjoyed the cigar. I can't expect you to have the same experience, but and your preference, but you liked it though, which is good. You know,
I look, again, 7 to me is very good, and
yeah,
very good in words. I mean, literally, it's a
yeah,
very good cigar. It's very
yeah.
good.
It's
So,
interesting and unique. I think the blend, but when anytime you add the word unique to a cigar, it
yeah,
limits usage. You know what I'm saying? Though it's easy to love, but that's not a cigar I want to have. Like I'm reviewing most of the time, so it's different. I don't always review, but I would
yeah.
have that lineup, but not like heavily. Because also, I think if I did that, if I bought like a 10 pack and smoked that all like in 2 weeks, I'd probably get like a little tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Though,
It's interesting because, like you said, the unique, once you get into that range where and I think that's the thing, there were moments where I was getting, like, amazing flavor, you know what I mean? Flavor that I could say, "Okay, that's closer to an 8," which is a super high score for me. But like you said, it's unique, so then there are other things where you're just like, "Well, it's kinda specific." You know what I mean? It's kind of,
yeah.
uh, bound how do I put it? It becomes something, um like you were saying with Padron, and I was saying that once you find what works in a specific area, then you kind of have to go to that thing or make something entirely different that really works.
Well, like I
And
said, they
yeah,
couldn't make that cigar the whole brand. It's cool to have it in the profile as an option, but it could be a whole brand. So Padron doesn't do unique, but all their cigars fit in their brand.
right,
You know, so you couldn't have a whole Camacho broadleaf. Like, listen, the whole lineup's going to taste like this. People will be like, "Oh, that's too much."
but
You know,
also even zoom out even more. If every cigar kind of tasted like Padron, okay, no problem. But if every cigar tasted like a Camacho broadleaf, would
yeah,
people be that into cigars at all? You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a good product.
it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because
Right.
yeah, they went too far. When you go too far in a certain area, um, it works for certain things, but not for you know what I'm saying though. It's kind of like okay, what do you want? Do you want a lamp or a parachute? The drone's a lamp. Not exciting, but every house has a lamp.
Right.
The broadleaf's a parachute. You're a fucking asshole going for a jog wearing a parachute. But it makes sense if you're jumping off a plane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, so it has more limited use. You know, it's a parachute. Wow, that's cool. If you're gonna jump off a plane, you need that.
Right.
I want that. But for everyday usage, the Padron makes more sense. So
Right.
that's where, like,
One cigar that I feel, again, I only smoked one, but I felt like it was an 8, which really shocked me, was the Sin Compromiso. And I thought the Sin Compromiso would be more specific, but it had a lot of those classic Habano flavors in it. It had the classic cigar framework, and then on top of that, it was doing other things. So to
I
me, it was universal as
I had issues with those.
yeah,
There's times with all of Dumbarton, like the Syncope Miso and the other one, the other dark one. What's the other cigar they make?
Meat Burrito.
No,
Uh,
no, I can't remember. But they even talked about on their website having issues with quality control.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, was that the Syncope Miso or?
Yeah, tell me about that, and I didn't see it, but I totally believe that that was the one
Yeah, but
that said
they
to me.
apologized about they made adjustments where so there's been times with some of those higher end Dunbarton cigars.
Yeah,
And other times like, oh yeah. I remember the first time I had it, I really liked it. And well, yeah, the Stillwells are garbage. Michieda's a solid mid tier cigars. Demagog is a solid, mid tier cigar that's affordable, but you
yeah.
can't, you know what I'm saying though. So yeah, I mean, I think Dumbarton's a good brand overall, but Stillwell's garbage. But I don't find myself going for them. Like
Well, look, I don't mean to. Let me. The point isn't that I'm not trying to say that that's a better cigar. I'm not trying to convince you it's a better cigar. All I'm trying to say was the experience that I had with it, which
Yeah,
maybe just a one-off. Maybe I had smoked the best Sin Compromiso of all time, and I
right.
think that's possible because it was a special experience. Um, but what stood out to me about it was, to me, it was something I wasn't expecting to be able to smoke all the time, but it's something I could smoke, once a week and have no problem. So that's that bumping it up into that next level when you have that full balance, that full breadth. Whereas if you have something that's really interesting and it's doing one thing, unless that really blows me out of the water, and this is, like I said, it's a very good cigar, it doesn't have that same height. You know what I mean? It's not the best cigar in the world.
I think for me, I'd rather go for Tabernacle brand. What do you call it?
Or the foundation.
Foundation over Saka's brand, because people think you when they get Saka's Dumbarton, which can be get expensive, that it's gonna be like Liga Privada because him and the other guy designed it.
Right.
That's when they were working for that company and they had control over it.
Right.
Uh, in this case with Steve Saka, and he talks about the things. He's a small company now, and so other people making his cigars. And it's not like he's in the factory every day. Like it's not like when he worked for Drew Estate, he's overseeing everything. Working for a billion, not billion, but a huge, mecca of a company like Drew Estate. Maybe they're worth a billion. I don't know, worth a lot of money. So they have all that money and funding, and they can do that. So now
Right.
that he's own, he's at the. That's why he had issues with quality control, and also, so you can't go, oh well, it's Steve Saka, so even McKeer is going to be as good as Liga Number Nine. No, so um, and with Foundation, it's all AJ Fernandez. So he has his blending, but at least AJ Fernandez, the price points are better on Foundation,
Right.
and um, uh, they're very reliable,
Right.
very consistent. Um, I don't know. I think I like the Foundation, what he's doing with the Olmec, the Tabernacle. I haven't tried the new one yet, uh,
I,
but
I feel like you're very safe with AJ because it's going to at least be a good cigar 90% of the time. And then also it's probably going to age well, right?
yeah, and the price is going to be good.
Right,
Like even
exactly.
like the Tabernacles, I've seen them today for 13. Oh, I'm sorry, the other day for like 13, $14. And
Yeah,
Tabernacle, serious cigar, and at this price, this day and age, at a lounge, and
right.
that's a gouge lounge. That's still a good price.
Right, because then the Rocky was like what, $20?
$23. Yeah, that
So
was.
that's, I mean, that delta is huge, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Huge difference.
yeah. So I mean,
My point is not that I think Dunbarton's the best company or
yeah,
that Compromise is the best cigar. I'm just trying to give an experience of something that I had that said, okay, that's taking it one step above the Camacho broadleaf. And what it was it's not just, even though the Camacho broadleaf, like I said, it had that core flavor that was super complex, had a lot of things going on, had a nice finish. It was transitional through the finish. And you had those nice top notes. It was really nice. That's all that's going on, right? There's not, and sometimes I'll smoke a cigar and it's like I'm getting everything that I'm expecting out of a cigar, and then a few more things. That's slightly different experience. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think for me,
also with the broadleaf, the downside, it's a good and a downside, but the downside would be is you're not going to have a different experience coming back to it. There's
mhm,
no other way to interpret fucking caramel or sea
right,
salt.
right,
So like either you love that or you don't. And it's not like when you come back to it, you're like, oh, maybe I'll get something different. This, no, you're not. So that's why it's a more limited use. What I'm trying to say is, there's no other way to interpret that fucking cigar. You know. So if you're not in the mood for that kind of cigar, so yeah, if you want caramel, you get that cigar. But I think his phone died, and I think we're at the end anyways. So PG is frozen in time, or maybe PG is practicing being a mime. PG is frozen. PG ran out of batteries. So PG frozen PG. Fuck you, frozen PG. You're 451 frozen PG. So, I was talking shit to frozen PG.
phone died. Sorry.
But yeah,
You,
man.
yeah.
But I'm gonna get going, bro. I'm
All
gonna
right,
start.
man.
So good talk, man. I'll see you around. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you're reliable again. All right.
I appreciate that. All right,
Yeah.
man. Have a good night.
I'm glad you're reliable. See you around, bro.
All right.
Peace
Peace.
out.